Welcome to the Abstract Open Mic, monthly Abstract Open Mic, जो पिछले 2-3 महीने से नहीं हुई थी, but monthly Abstract Open Mic. So I'll just quickly give you some context about Abstract. So the Abstract room started around June 2020. It's been around 18 months or so. मेरा maths इतना अच्छा नहीं. I think 18-19 months जो भी हुआ है उसको since we have started Abstract. So essentially we started off by discussing primarily films and books. Okay. And slowly and gradually and organically, we have transitioned to discussing poetry, discussing music, discussing art like paintings and all of that, and discussing. We have done a couple of play readings as well, and other kinds of conversations as well. Anything abstract discussions also we have at times. So essentially, what we do in abstract is try to have all-round conversations around art to explore different forms of art together and provide people a community where they can feel comfortable to talk about their their opinions, their views, their experiences, their knowledge, their lack of knowledge. So if this is something, if joining today, if seeing the vibe आपको थोड़ा भी ठीक ठाक लगता है यहाँ का vibe, I would request you to please help us out in reaching out to more people. How the way we can do that is हमारा WhatsApp group you can ask more people to join you ताकि उनको idea आ जाए हम कैसे sessions करवा रहे हैं. You can share our Instagram page with them. You can put our stories if any हम आज की photo लेंगे एक अच्छी सी session की तो उसकी आप डाल सकते हैं. So you can do that to help us out. And the best way you can help us out to is by you yourself joining us again. We'll try to make sure. I've been told that there are many people here today जिनका पहली बार they'll be performing. There are many people जो professionals भी हैं. There are many people जो पहली बार अपना open mic perform करने वाले हैं. And honestly, we have messaged them personally as well. But all I'm trying to say is that we genuinely will try to make sure that you feel comfortable over here.
So my name is Anushka, and by education, I'm a psychologist. And I started writing poetry when I was about, say, 13 years old. I essentially started with English, but now I've been dabbling in Hindi for a long time. So the first one that I'm going to go forward with is called as Fursat, right? So it starts with अगली बार जो आओ तो थोड़ा फुर्सत से आना, कई पुराने किस्सों को तुम्हारे साथ बैठकर दोहराना है, कुछ खत तुम्हारे रखे हैं मैंने संभाल के, मैं वो भी लेता आऊंगा, उनमें किए कुछ वादे निभाना अब भी जो बाकी है, इसलिए कहता हूँ अगली बार जो आओ तो थोड़ा फुर्सत से आना, घर के पीछे वाली गली में जो दुपट्टा छूट गया था तुम्हारा वो भी मैं ले आऊंगा, वो दुपट्टा तुम्हें पसंद था और मुझे तुम, इसलिए कहता हूँ अगली बार जो आओ तो थोड़ा फुर्सत से आना, तुम्हारा दिया हुआ गुलाब का फूल आज भी मेरी डायरी के पन्नों में कैद है, मैं सोचता हूँ कि उसे भी आजाद कर दूं उन पन्नों की कैद से जिनमें मैं तुम्हारे बारे में लिखता था, जो भी हुआ उसमें उन बेचारों की भी क्या गलती थी, इसलिए कहता हूँ अगली बार जो आओ तो थोड़ा फुर्सत से आना. So this was the first one, and I know that this was really short, so I have another one for you guys.
Please.
So it starts with, it doesn't have a title, but it essentially starts with, खुद से ही आजकल कुछ डरा सा घूमता हूँ मैं, आईने में किसी और को ही खोजता रहता हूँ मैं, लापरवाही से सना हुआ अब जिस्म है मेरा, बेफिक्र होकर अब रास्ते से गुजरता हूँ मैं, आसमां में उड़ते पंछियों से बतलाता हूँ मैं मंजिलों के बारे में, कभी घर के बारे में, कभी मोहब्बत तो कभी इनकार के बारे में, हाँ ना वो मुझे समझ पाते हैं और ना मैं उन्हें समझ पाता हूँ, बस एक सुकून सा मिलता है इस बातचीत से कुछ, शायद उन्हें भी कोई सुनने और सुनाने वाला चाहिए होगा, मेरी भावनाओं को मैं आजकल मेरी कविताओं में पिरोता हूँ, चंद अल्फाजों से मेरी कहानी बयां करने की कोशिश करता हूँ. So these were actually written when I was going through a really bad phase, but I found way through words, honestly, and nothing makes sense to me anymore other than poetry. I have one last one pertaining to the time that I've been allotted. So it starts with, मैं बरसूंगा फिर तुम्हारे आंगन में बारिश बनकर, तुम फिर उसी शिद्दत से मेरी मोहब्बत में भीग जाना, मेरे जज्बातों को जो तुमने आज तक अपने जहन में संभाल के रखा है, उन्हें भी उस बारिश में बहा देना। मुस्कुराहट तुम्हारी चुराने का जो इल्जाम है मुझ पे, बरसते हुए मैं वो भी लौटा दूंगा। बस एक गुजारिश है तुमसे, जब जब मैं बरसूंगा फिर तुम्हारे आंगन में बारिश बनकर, तुम फिर उसी शिद्दत से मेरी मोहब्बत में भीग जाना। So that was it essentially. So that's done.
Thank you so much. It was lovely listening to you. Thank you so much for sharing
Thank you
with us
so
your work.
Thank you so much. And I told Sankalp also that this is my first open mic, so I was very nervous. And reading all those comments, oh my god, that is so beautiful. Thank you so
Lovely.
much.
It was really lovely, and we really hope that you continue writing and we get to hear more from you.
I would really love to attend more of these events. Thank you so much.
Yeah, hi, my name is Parv and I am writing since 2020. तो मेरी शॉर्ट पोएट्रीज हैं, मैं एक के बाद एक बोलता जाऊंगा until unless मेरा टाइम खत्म नहीं होता है। अभी 10:20 हुए हैं, 10:23 तक बोलता हूँ। तो अर्ज किया है, किसी रोज मुझे इत्तेफाक से मिल जाना किसी मेले या बाजार में, पहचान लेना मुझे बावजूद इसके भीड़ होगी मेरे आसपास हजार में। मुझे देखकर दूर से हाथ हिला देना, हो सके तो मुझे देखकर मुस्कुरा देना। जो भी तुम्हारे दिल में है मैं चाहता हूँ तुम्हारी जुबान पर भी आए, मैं बाहें फैलाए रूबरू होऊंगा, तुम बस कस के लग जाना गले हमारे। अगली शायरी सुना रहा हूँ। बड़ी शान से मैंने अपने शौक पाले हैं, एक से बढ़कर एक मैंने सारे संभाले। मुझे खुशी होती है इनको अपने साथ बढ़ता देख, और दुख होता है इनको एक दूसरे से लड़ता देख। शौक पालना शौक है मेरा, इन्हीं से रात और इन्हीं से सवेरा। अगली शायरी सुना रहा हूँ। रिश्ता बनाने में की थी बहुत मेहनत, जब लगा कि अब देना चाहिए तो सामने वाले को बताने की भी नहीं की रहमत। बीच मझधार में छोड़ देने से लाख गुना बेहतर है एक हसीन मोड़ पर लाकर छोड़ देना। रिश्ता तोड़ना ही चाहते हो तो कम से कम खूबसूरत तरीके से तोड़ देना। शिकायत ना कोई गिला है, खुशकिस्मत उनकी इश्क करने को मिला। मैं तुमसे अगली शायरी सुना रहा हूँ। मैं तुमसे क्या ही मांगूंगा और तुम मुझे क्या ही दे दोगे, रोटी कपड़ा मकान तो है मेरे पास रहने को, कुछ देर बैठो मेरे साथ, दिल के राज है मेरे पास कहने को। अगली शायरी सुना रहा हूँ। मुझे छीनना भी नहीं है, मुझे मांगना भी नहीं है, मुझे छीनना भी नहीं है, मुझे मांगना भी नहीं है, मुझे सिर्फ और सिर्फ है कमाना। इतनी सी बात थी और दुश्मन हो गया जमाना। अगली शायरी सुना रहा हूँ। खुशी बांटो तो गुरूर का ताना मिलता है, गम बांटो तो बुजदिली का। खुशी बांटो तो गुरूर का ताना मिलता है, गम बांटो तो बुजदिली का। सभी दिल जले घूम रहे हैं, क्या खाक दिल लगाएंगे किसी का।
अरे वाह।
ओके, दिस इज अ वन लाइनर। अगली शायरी सुना रहा हूँ।
जी।
ख्याल, दिस इज अ वन लाइनर। ख्याल शाम को आया और रात हो गई, ख्याल शाम को आया और रात हो गई, सिर्फ यादें थी ना जाने कब जज्बात हो गई।
अरे वाह।
अगली शायरी सुना रहा हूँ, मेरे पास शायद थोड़ा समय है, ये आखिरी होगी तो फटाफट सुना देता हूँ। मैं जैसा हूँ मुझे रहने दो, मैं समंदर हूँ मुझे रहने दो। मेरे दिल में बात आई मुझे कहने दो, कुछ देना ही है तो दुआ दो वरना रहने दो। मेरी जिंदगी में परेशानियां मुझे अकेले रहने दो, ताकि so much this was my time, you've been a lovely audience, I love you।
क्या बात है।
सुभान अल्लाह, बेशक।
शायरी का बोले थे पर क्या हसीन ये मुलाकात हो गई। Continuing to your one of your shares, thank you so much for sharing. It was, the chat is yours. Scroll करना पड़ेगा आपको आपकी तारीफ सुनने के लिए, and I think that saves a lot. Thank you so much. Now we'll quickly move to Pratima.
Hello, my name is Pratima. Happy Republic Day to you all. तो ये जो मैंने लिखा है, ये जो मेरा पीस वो कॉमन मैन के ऊपर है। हाउ डज अ कॉमन मैन फील टुवर्ड्स हिज कंट्री। तो ये उस पर है, तो लेट्स स्टार्ट। मैं ना सिपाही हूँ और ना ही कोई बड़ा सरकारी अफसर जिसने देश की सेवा करने की शपथ ली है। मैं तो बस एक आम आदमी हूँ जिसकी देशभक्ति उलझी हुई है। मेरे लिए मेरा परिवार मेरी सरहद है और महंगाई मेरी दुश्मन, जिसे मैं चाहे कितना ही क्यों ना लड़ लूं पर कभी जीत नहीं सकता। मैं इस देश से अक्सर खपा रहता हूँ, सुबह से शाम बस इसमें कमियां ढूंढता रहता हूँ। जिस दिन मैं इसमें कमियां ढूंढना भूल जाता हूँ, उस दिन ये कमियां खुद मेरे सामने चली आती है, कभी बेरोजगारी के रूप में तो कभी भ्रष्टाचार के रूप में। मैं अक्सर अपने बच्चों से कहता हूँ पढ़ लिख कर इस देश का नाम रोशन करो, तो कभी कहता हूँ कुछ नहीं रखा इस देश में, इसे छोड़कर विदेश चले जाऊँ। ऐसा नहीं है कि मुझे मेरे देश की प्रतिभा पर कोई शक है, मुझे मेरे देश की अंतर्राष्ट्रीय उपलब्धि पर गर्व है। भारत खेल में जब भी अच्छा प्रदर्शन करता है तो मुझे बेहद खुशी होती है, पर मुझे ये भी पता है कि भारत की खेल व्यवस्था अच्छी नहीं है। भारत वैज्ञानिक तकनीकी में आगे बढ़े कि मैं दिल से चाहता हूँ, पर बिजली का बिल देखकर मैं अक्सर चकरा जाता हूँ। स्वतंत्र और गणतंत्र दिवस भले ही मेरे लिए छुट्टी का दिन हो, मैं फिर भी सबको शुभकामनाएं देने के लिए वक्त निकाल लेता हूँ। मैं गृहस्थी और दफ्तर के बीच संतुलन बनाते बनाते देश के बारे में सोचना भूल जाता हूँ। राजनेता याद दिलाते हैं देश के बारे में मुझे, और 5 साल बाद मुझे राजनेता उम्मीद देते हैं। मैं अक्सर कहता हूँ कुछ नहीं है इस देश में, लेकिन जब मतदान का वक्त आता है कोशिश करता हूँ देश को उन हाथों में दूं जो इसे आगे लेकर जाए। मैं किसी सिपाही की तरह बहादुर नहीं हूँ जो अपने परिवार से दूर देश की सुरक्षा करे, और ना ही मेरे पास किसी अफसर जैसी ताकत। मेरे पास देश को देने के लिए सिर्फ मेरे विचार हैं जिसे मैंने जिंदा रखा है और स्वतंत्र भी छोड़ दिया है। इन विचारों में कभी नाराजगी होती है, कभी गुस्सा तो कभी उम्मीद। मैं ना देश प्रेमी हूँ और ना ही देशभक्त, मैं केवल देश का नागरिक हूँ जो भारत की कमियां और अच्छाइयों में संतुलन बना रहा है। सो दैट वाज इट फ्रॉम माय साइड। Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing that with us on this day. And we really hope to see you again to hear more from you. And you have the chat box with you, and
Thank you.
people showering their love to you. Thank you so much. So now our next performer is Ishani.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Ishani. I'm from Kolkata. So today I will be performing one of my poems. It's known as The Train. Quickly, I will start it. It is about to end. It's time to abandon it. The lights slowly fainted away as if the show was over. I have played my part well. No longer I need to be a rover. Soon the darkness coldly hugged me all around. The train stopped, and now a deafening sound did surround. By Shani Raut. Hope you all like the poem, and this poem is actually about our life journey, and it's about that only.
It's also includes some kind of dark words, so it's really beautiful.
Absolutely beautiful.
Thank you so much for sharing that with us. So we have Jyoti next, and Jyoti, please stop calling me sir. पहले काफी बूढ़ा फील कर रहा हूँ. So yeah, Jyoti, you can go ahead, please.
Sure, I'm sorry for basically calling you sir. And
It's okay, it's okay.
hi everyone, I'm Jyotiraditya, and this is my first ever open mic. And if I go wrong at any point, please do excuse me.
No, please go ahead.
And yeah, mine is not a poem. I mean, I can't write something so poetic like you, so I would just write something as short stories. So my story, thank you. My story is inspired from a real life, like a life of my friend who was a national athlete. So while we were in our high schooling, he got addicted to drugs, and he had a competition, a national weight competition, to be like he had to participate in a national weight competition in the coming week. And that's when we realized that in doping test, the one he should go without drugs for 3 to 4 days, otherwise he'll be eliminated from participating in the competition. And that's when the trouble began. The first day he had some deviations. He went to the track and he started to practice all day long. He had nothing. We had no issue with him even. And when it came to the second day, his body was in a situation where he could not even move. He started to feel his body a bit heavy because of lack of drugs. He started to feel weird. He started to imagine something. He started to shout. He couldn't resist himself from taking drugs. He pulled out his locker to just consume it. But that's when I entered and I slapped him and I prevented him from taking it. I had to tie him to the bed. Like, those were the days when Sanju movie released, so I had nothing else to do other than taking inspiration from the movie. So I had tied him up to the bed, and he started to yell, but I had nothing to do. I couldn't see my friend in pain, but that's all I could do. The coach came and called him, but I stopped him from going to the practice because what matters to be more is my friend being good rather than being an athlete. On the third day, he started hallucinating. He started acting like a weird person, a weird mad person. He started hitting the wall. He started punching himself to the wall, imagining someone. I even don't know that he imagined someone, but it was him who told after his experience. He was then given an anesthesia, which he was just laying on the bed for the whole day. Just before 2 hours of his race, that's when he got up and I took him to the racetrack. He was still drowsy while I was driving the bike. He just sat like on the track on the board to start his race. And that's when I even don't know, this was him who told me. He had all his incidents in life flashing in his mind. And just a moment before, he could just get lost into the thoughts. And I'm sorry, so just a moment before he started his race, he was completely lost into thoughts. And that's when the piston was fired. This brought him back into the senses. And that's when he started to run for our better, like, for our better thing. He won the preliminary race and he got selected. And that's when we seriously fought for 43 days, where he fought against his addiction towards drugs. And now he's a national level athlete. Thank you. That's my story. I'm sorry if I.
No. Thank you so much for sharing and
It's really
inspiring.
raw and very beautiful.
Yeah, it
Thank
is
you.
really inspiring. Thank you so much, and we congratulate your friend and you for sticking with him, and we hope to
Thank
find
you.
such friends in our life. Thank you so much for sharing this work with us.
Thank you.
Yeah. So our next performer is Sakshi.
Okay, hi guys.
Hello.
मेरा नाम साक्षी है and it's my first time ever performing my poetry. So I started writing poetry when I was in second year. There was a course like theater होता है हमारे course में. तो that theater realized me कि हाँ मुझे poetry लिखना है. तो मैं खुद को इंट्रोड्यूस करने के लिए कुछ बोलती हूँ जब भी मैं कुछ ऐसा फील करती हूँ कि हाँ मुझे अच्छा नहीं लग रहा है. So I just keep looking to my poetries and this is what I tell to myself. तुम वो खूबसूरत ख्वाब हो हर पल जिसे जीने को दिल चाहे. तुम वो खूबसूरत ख्वाब हो हर पल जिसे जीने को दिल चाहे. तुम वो मनचाही मन्नत हो हर पल जिसे मांगने को दिल चाहे. तुम वो मनचाही मन्नत हो हर पल जिसे मांगने को दिल चाहे. तुम वो मीठी याद हो जो भूले तो मर जाए. तुम वो मीठी याद हो जो भूले तो मर जाए. तुम वो हसीन कशिश हो जिसे ये दिल हर पल चाहे. तुम वो हसीन कशिश हो जिसे ये दिल हर पल चाहे. तो दिस इज व्हाट आई रोट फॉर माई सेल्फ क्योंकि खुद के लिए लिखना मुझे अच्छा लगता है. And I have written more poetries. मेरी ज्यादा poetries हिंदी में होती है. So ये कुछ थॉट था मेरे दिमाग में कि लोग बदल जाते हैं. क्यों बदल जाते हैं तो उसके लिए मैंने कुछ लिखा था. तू रोज रोज यूं नया कैसे बन जाता है. तू रोज रोज यूं नया कैसे बन जाता है. मैं तो अभी भी वही उलझी हुई सी हूँ. मैं तो अभी भी वही उलझी हुई सी हूँ. तू रोज रोज यू रंग तू रोज रोज यू नया रंग कैसे दिखाता है. तू रोज रोज यू नया रंग कैसे दिखाता है. मैं तो अभी भी उसी रंग में रंगी सी हूँ. मैं तो अभी भी उसी रंग में रंगी सी हूँ। तू रोज रोज नई बातें कैसे बनाता है, तू रोज रोज नई बातें कैसे बनाता है, मैं तो अभी भी उन्हीं बातों में उलझी हुई सी हूँ। तू रोज रोज बदला सा लगता है, मैं तो अभी भी वही बाबरी सी हूँ, मैं तो अभी भी वही बाबरी सी हूँ, मैं तो अभी भी वही पगली सी हूँ।
Beautiful.
थैंक यू। सो आई हैव मोर टाइम, तो वन ऑफ माय पोएट्री ये मैंने अभी कुछ दिनों पहले ही लिखी थी। एक तरफा प्यार मेरा, एक तरफा प्यार मेरा तुमसे हुआ कुछ ऐसे, एक तरफा प्यार मेरा तुमसे हुआ कुछ ऐसे, पलके झुकी तेरी ऐसे लगे इश्क में तीर जैसे, पलके झुकी तेरी ऐसे लगे इश्क में तीर जैसे, कातिल तेरी नजरें ऐसे पानी पर आग जैसे, कातिल तेरी नजरें ऐसे पानी पर आग जैसे, सवरती तेरी वो लट ऐसे रेशम के धागे जैसे, सवरती तेरी वो लट ऐसे रेशम के धागे जैसे, बोले तेरे होठ ऐसे बजे कृष्ण की बंसी जैसे, बोले तेरे होठ ऐसे बजे कृष्ण की बंसी जैसे, लगे प्यारी तू मुझे ऐसे शाम की हो मीरा जैसे, शाम की हो मीरा जैसे। Thank you so much. So this is my first time ever.
First time. अरे अरे नजर ना लगे आपको.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for sharing. You can see all the smiles, including me. I can't stop smiling. Thank you so much. And
Thank
I
you.
really hope to see you again. अभी सेशन के बाद या फिर next time जब भी हो. Please,
Yeah,
I'd love to
I'm
hear it.
looking forward.
Please. Thank you so much.
Thank,
Thank you so much for sharing.
thank you.
Also, I'm Urja. Hi, everybody, and let's move on. CA Mohit Thakur. I want to scratch the CA on herself, but I won't do that to you. Mohit, are you here? Ready?
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. So as Urja has also mentioned, I am a chartered accountant, but I love to do poetry. So I'll start with I'm Mohit Thakur. Mo, you can call me. आप सभी को इस जूम के माध्यम से दीवाने खास पे मेरा दीवाने श्वास से आपका प्रणाम और अपनी नज्म एवं कहानी इस अवसर के नाम करता हूँ। ये एक कहानी है जो एक अनजान कहानी है। कहते हैं कि जिस चीज को आप शिद्दत से पाने चलो तो शायद भी अगर वो न मिले तो उससे भी कोई ज्यादा खूबसूरत चीज आपकी किस्मत की लकीरों में आकर रुक सी जाती है। यह कहानी भी कुछ ऐसी ही थी। एक लड़का जो भटका था अपने ही रचे भंवर में, कामयाब बनने के रास्ते पर, हकीकत से बहुत दूर तसव्वुर में, समंदर की लहरों सी ख्वाहिशों के बवंडर में, पर ये सब लकीरों में कहाँ लिखा था। लिखा जो था वो उसे कहाँ दिखा था। उसे तो कायनात की खूबसूरत चीज से मिलना था। इस भंवर बवंडर और तसव्वुर में एक आशा के फूल को खिलना था। फिर हुआ ऐसा कुछ कि उसके दिल को भाग गया। ये मेरी बहुत ही दिल से पसंदीदा पोएट्री अभी रिसाइट करना चाहूंगा कि तुम्हारा आना मिलना मुस्कुराना मेरे दिल को भा गया। तुम्हारा यूं बातों से रूह को छू जाना मेरे दिल को भा गया। न मांगे भी मिल जाता है, कभी सुना था मैंने कि न मांगे भी मिल जाता है, कभी सुना था मैंने, पर तुम्हारा यूं जिंदगी में आकर हकीकत बन जाना मेरे दिल को भा गया। जुबा से तो बात कम हुई थी उस दिन, जुबा से बात तो कम हुई थी उस दिन, पर तुम्हारा यूं आंखों से दिल का हाल बयां कर जाना मेरे दिल को भा गया। मिल सकती नहीं कभी अंगारों में ठंडक की चुभन, ठंडक और चुभन दोनों है। मिल सकती नहीं कभी अंगारों में ठंडक की चुभन, पर तुम्हारा यूं अंगारों सी अदा से ताजगी फैलाना मेरे दिल को भा गया। तुम्हारा यूं अंगारों सी अदा से ताजगी फैलाना मेरे दिल को भा गया। तुम आए तो थे कोई आम गैर बन के इस सफर में, मेरे सफर में आए थे तुम तो एक गैर आम बन के, पर तुम्हारा यूं आकर यहीं बस जाना मेरे दिल को भा गया। और अंत में बताना चाहूंगा कि और यूं तुम्हारा अनजान से मेरा सब कुछ हो जाना मेरे दिल को भा गया। बहुत चीज जरूरी भी नहीं होती है, तो यहाँ पे भी कुछ ऐसा ही था कि यह दो रूह का एक जाम में बस जाना जरूरी तो नहीं। हर खूबसूरत फूल का उसी बाग के भंवरे से मिलना, हर खूबसूरत फूल का उसी के बाग के भंवरे से मिलना जरूरी तो नहीं। हर प्यासे का नाव में बैठे भी प्यास छुपाना जरूरी तो नहीं। और हर भटके हुए राही का मंजिल तक पहुंच पाना जरूरी तो नहीं। साथ उनका भी जिंदगी भर रह न सका, गजल का आखिरी शेर वो कह न सका। हुआ सब कुछ आंखों के सामने, देखा महसूस किया पर वो सह न सका। Thank you. That's all from my side. It was having a good time, and this was my first time when I'm presenting my poetry before more than one person, because I write poetries for one of my friends or someone who is very special to my heart, and I just wrote it and just conveyed to him. But this is a first time when I am presenting to this many audience, and this is 50%. I was just expecting it would be 15 or 20 people of a group, and I'll be presenting to 15, but this is 50 people, and it's great time over here. Thank you, Abdul, and thank you, Abstract team.
Thank you so much, Mo. I love calling you Mo.
Thank
Okay,
you.
I loved it. I really loved it. Um, moving on. Uh, सिद्धार्थ, तो मैं इसलिए लेट बुलाया ताकि I can call you. तो आ जाओ, कर लो परफॉर्म तुम भी अब.
So today, for a change, I'm going to actually read out a short story, which is not going to be on the level that was before. So don't worry about that.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you so much.
Yes, I had to give that disclaimer. So yeah, my time starts now. Cool. I used to tell people why they shouldn't be roaming out in the middle of the night. I remember this from Ted, from How I Met Your Mother, saying that nothing good ever happens after like 2 a.m. at night. So that is the exact thing that came to my mind as soon as I was walking down the road and I just passed by somebody who was walking beside me. I was getting home after a long night of drinking with my office colleagues. So I looked at the time, it was 2:34 a.m. The road was as quiet as you could hear a pin drop silence, which all the teachers used to always refer to. So I saw this guy getting out of a lane in front of me and he was walking next to me after that. However, I couldn't help but notice because he looked like a 20-year-old person, but didn't dress like one. I mean, by didn't dress like one, I just mean that he was just dressed as like in a dirty long cloak with just a lot of holes and a very shaggy and bad shabby things. But staying in Mumbai and watching a lot of movies has taught me, because of Bollywood, of course, one thing, that how could I always get rid of petty thieves if somebody shows up and I could bash them up. Suddenly, I felt a tap on my shoulder and I noticed it was the same man who was walking beside. I really don't know why we allow your species to exist. My confused self with a poker face asked him, "What are you trying to say, buddy? And you and I are from the same species. Why would you allow us to stay?" He just looked at me straight in my eyes and he just said, "Are you watching closely?" I was already tipsy to look straight, and this man was asking me to watch closely. What happened next got me just totally sober in an instant. The guy changed his appearance. He looked like himself, but a very older, like a 50-year-old looking like person. His face resembled his younger self from whom I saw before. I tried to get my phone out and looked at the screen. The time was still 2:34 a.m. In sheer panic, I dropped my phone and I started running, and as fast as I could until I realized that I had reached the exact same spot as I saw the guy looking at me. And then he picked up my phone. He handed it over and said, "You can't leave like this, not without answering my question." I looked at him. His appearance started changing again. He had wrinkles now. He was shaking. His body was shaking. I don't know what went wrong. Look, I just got scared and I just said, "Look, sir, please just let me go. I need to get home. I don't know how did you do that." Then I removed my money, my wallet, my watch, along with everything. My phone also. I just gave it back to him. "Please take all of this and please let me go. I have not harmed you in any way. I won't tell anyone about this. Please don't. Please, I'm just sorry. I'm just gonna go." He took my watch in his hand. He asked me to keep everything back in my pockets. I did what he said. As he started doing it, his body started to shape shift again, and he became the younger self. He handed over me my watch, and I saw the time, and it was 2:34 a.m. again. And he just said in a very normal voice, "It was broken. I just repaired it. I guess you broke it with your friends or something. But please take care of it. We already let you possess such a great entity in your hands. Respect it." I looked at him with a confused state and I asked, like, what is going on? Who are you exactly? With a serious, mysterious grin on his face, he just said, "मैं समय हूँ." That's it. That's my time.
क्या बात है, क्या बात है.
Hi, ending.
Moving on, I think I'll perform, and then we have a surprise for you guys, I guess. Okay, I'll perform. It might be thoda sa preachy, so don't mind that. This is a real version because, well, we are listening to reels only nowadays. So here we go. Put your finger down if you have wanted to break down but did not because you thought you are stronger than that. Put your finger down if on days you felt like you didn't want to wake up, you got out of bed and did what needed to be done. Put your finger down if on days you felt lonely, you knew you were to blame because there are your friends and family by your side. Put your finger down if on days you failed, you told yourself that you will get through it, even if nothing seemed possible then. If on days that you came to know that you were lied to or left alone or manipulated, you told yourself that you deserve better and you moved on. Put your finger down if on days you could not hold it any longer, you let your emotions flow. If on days you could not be there for yourself, you were there for someone else, even if their matters seemed trivial in that moment. If on days you felt angry but could not do anything, so you just wrote or painted or danced or cooked or simply went to sleep instead. Put your finger down if on days a tear wanted to slip through, you put on a smile. If on days you were ready to give up, you put on a mask of denial, knowing that there are better days coming your way. Each one of us here is battling through something each day. I have no idea what you are feeling today. I hope you are the happy one today. But if you are sad, I hope you find kindness here in this place. For the lucky ones, the majority of days are happy. We are Mowglis hopping in and out of the past while hanging on the hopes of the future. A few days without drama seems peaceful to the lucky ones. For the unlucky ones, even the ordinary days don't bring peace. There is an unsettling feeling at the bottom of our hearts. Actually, it's a settled feeling, the settled residue of the past, in the ocean of emotions that we keep feeling. And the little that I ask you today is to be gentle towards yourself. And if you're doing everything you can do to be better, just be happy for yourself. I find the slam poetry very peachy, very boring, in fact, because in a nutshell it says be happy, be calm, be unapologetic. These emotions are the ones we often feel that we don't have control over. But one thing that you have a control over is to be kinder, softer with people, because kindness comes with the unawareness of what the others might be feeling in front of you but aren't telling you. So today is the day that you start being kind at people you are really angry at. That's all. With that, I'll hand it over to Radhika.
Pooja, that was amazing as usual. Thank you so much for putting a piece in there. All right, so we have a guest performance by Pratik Kumar. He is a guitarist, singer, writer, educator, and so many more wonderful things. He's been very nice in accepting to perform an original song here for all of us. So, yes, Pratik, all yours.
Hey, hello everyone. Hi. It was really lovely to be here. And so I'll just like try to like really quickly go through and just start. I'll paste the lyrics in the chat so that it's like a little easier to connect because it's a new song. I'm also adding like my link to the Instagram there. So if you like it, you want to just go follow, check some other songs out, you can do the same. So I've just put it. So this song is more or less about living in the present. And a lot of times when we think about just life and this world, and we keep on thinking, why are we here?
And more or less, I'm thinking these discussions would be going on a lot in abstract room, as the name says, a lot of abstract questions. So this basically more or less talks about these questions. And sometimes in your life you come to a point where you're like, "Mat pucho yaar. Just don't ask these questions. Let me just live." So it's mostly about living in the present. So here it goes. पूछो न हमसे तुम ऐसे अनोखे सवाल, हम भी परेशान यहाँ पे है रोते रोते, कागज पे सूखी है शाही मेरे दास्तां से, तुम कल सुनोगे शायद मेरी ये बातें, क्या तुम हो क्या हम हैं, ऐसे बातें ना छेड़ो, क्या तुम हो क्या हम हैं, ऐसे बातें ना छेड़ो, ऐसे बातें ना छेड़ो, ऐसे बातें ना छेड़ो। धीरे धीरे बदलता है सबका समय, धीरे धीरे हम तुम भी बदलेंगे, सवालों का क्या है वो कल और कल पे टिके हैं, जवाब तो आज और आज में ही छिपे हैं, क्या तुम हो क्या हम हैं, ऐसे बातें ना छेड़ो, क्या तुम हो क्या हम हैं, ऐसे बातें ना छेड़ो, ऐसे बातें ना छेड़ो, ऐसे बातें ना छेड़ो. So thank you so much for everyone for listening, and I hope all of you enjoyed, and I hope you all can maybe go to my page, check it out, and enjoy some more music.
It's really relatable. It's really relatable. Some lines are just like hitting so hard that I can feel in my nerves. Really.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much,
Thank you so much.
Pratik.
Someone mentioned in the chat that it's a mixture of Pratik Kumar and Gulzar. No, like इससे
Gulzar,
waterfall explain
yes.
कर रहा है.
Yes. Moving on to our next performance, we have Harry performing for us.
Hi guys, I'm Mohammed Harris actually. I like to go by Harry, and I'm from Chennai, and I like to write, and basically I also written a book of poem collection, and I think it's gonna come out in a couple of months. Kind of proud about that. So I just wanna. This is the first time I'm actually performing in front of a crowd, and this is my first open mic. I have what is it? You know what? Let's just get to the poem. I'm really scared right now.
All the best, man. You will be great, man. Come on, come on.
Yeah. Don't worry.
Thank you. So this is about a girl I saw in the stairwell in my college. So poem is titled "A Girl I Saw in the Stairwell." As I walked down the stairs, I stood along the rail and stared through the crowd towards a face so beautiful that everything else fades. Her hair braided over her shoulder. Her warmth around her made me want to hold her. Along the way, as my feet followed hers, few flights of stairs down the building, her presence made my life thrilling. Her eyes fleeting across the crowd as they met mine, and my heart beated so loud. A little smile on my face as my heart raced, cold feet and hot blood pumping through my veins. It's like a flood. As her sealed lips pouted, my inside voice screamed and shouted. Her words were like melody, her voice soft and velvety. We shook hands and exchanged words. My insides fluttered like birds. Her beautiful presence made me shy, filled my stomach with butterflies. From that moment of a day, I hope to walk down the stairs together every day. Oh my god, you guys are making me blush with the comments. Oh my god, thanks for telling me that I have a lovely smile.
Yes, you do. That was lovely, Harry. I think you have more time. Do you want to talk about?
Yeah, actually, I think I do have something else. Okay, basically, I like to get some words from my friends, and when I'm bored, and I like to make up a poem framed around it. So, this is one of the poems that my friends gave me. This is one of my poems that I framed that way. Like they gave me three words. So, the three words go like Worcestershire, unbothered, and Widdershins. Okay, withered and lonely, living in Worcestershire. Life moves on at a slow pace, as I have no will to race. Heart broken into a million pieces, my soul to not be found. My mind became scrambled as my senses became unbothered. My desires lost into an abyss, dreams into trash bins. The world spun around in widdershins as I wait penance for my sins. Okay, this is about something about New Year's Eve. Like everyone goes through the same thing. Uh, so New Year's Eve, the lights of festivity all around. People making a show of faces, happy faces, sad faces, angry faces, depressed faces, jealous faces, vanity faces. All faces that are mere facades. As in another year sets on the New Year's Eve, the evening of welcoming and goodbyes, a time of mixed emotions. Are we all saying goodbye to our sorrows or welcoming new ones? As the sun sets on the evening horizon and rises up and shines across a new year, we are faced with new challenges, yet hopeful and desperate to have a better year. That's all I have to say. Thanks for the opportunity. I really love this.
Nallaraka.
Oh, are you speaking Tamil? Thanks. Nandri.
Thank you so much, Harry. How are you feeling now? A little.
Yeah, I'm actually great right now. I was talking to my friends about this, and they were like so hyped about it, and that's the hype got to me. So I was like pretty shivering right now. But everyone else sounded so good. I was like, okay, can I perform as good as that? Is my work as much as that? So
your friend's
that's what I
hype was
had in my mind.
absolutely on point.
I hope you
Loved
guys
having
loved it.
you.
I enjoyed this so much.
Same.
Thank you for doing this, and I hope to join you guys soon.
Thank you for sharing your writing, Harry. All right, thank you so much. Moving on to Pavan Kumar.
So I'm going to tell a short story.
Okay.
Okay. So basically, a girl is coming back from a party at midnight. Like, let's call her Mega. Okay. Her friend drops her at her home. She slowly opens her gate and also she opens her door, gets into the house. After entering the house, she senses that someone is looking at her from the pendulum clock, which has smiley face. Okay. She ignores it and just decides to take a shower and go back to bed. Okay, while taking shower, she just thinks of the situation she spent in the party, those memories, the party memories. And after that, the suddenly power goes off. Okay, she'll be like, "Arey yaar, power chale gaya." Okay, she immediately grabs emergency light. Okay, she feels thirsty, goes to the kitchen, opens the lower deck of the fridge, tries to grab a bottle. Suddenly, boom, 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 a car sound comes. And like she gets up, her head gets hit by the top deck of the fridge, which was not open before. She feels confused and she rushes back outside to see what happened to her car. It's just a cat on her car. So she feels confused again, and she comes back to her bed. Okay, to worsen her situation, even the emergency light goes off. After that, I mean, like unable to sleep, she goes back into the kitchen, trying to light a candle. After lighting a candle, she sees she senses there's someone behind her, actually. So what she thinks is she just looks back and she sees a dark figure trying to approach her. She immediately grabs the candle, runs away from the kitchen, and she meets a dead end. The dark figure is approaching her step by step. Okay, she meets a dead end. The dark figure is approaching step by step. Okay, so she's shivering in the darkness, scared as hell. I mean, like the dark figure is coming near to her, but every moment. Meanwhile, a sweat drop from her hair passes onto her cheeks, onto the chin, and falls on the candle, leaving the situation in the utmost darkness. Okay, she looks down to the candle and looks up. The devil is right upon her face. Okay, she's like, my God. And at that moment, the power comes back. It turns out to be her boyfriend who's just doing a prank. She kicks him, punches him, and like the two console each other. The two start to hug each other, and everything is going on well. Suddenly, the door at the bedroom starts moving by itself. She looks at her boyfriend, thinking that what now? And her boyfriend looks at her, thinking, I have no idea. Okay, the door closes off. The two shout each other's name like Mega, Mehta, Mega, Mehta, Mehta, Megata, Mehta, Megata. The screams stop at a moment, leaving the situation in the utmost silence. The silence takes over the moment. And the only thing which can be heard is the ticking of the pendulum clock back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. The smiley face goes back and comes forth, sliced into. That's it.
My God, Pavan. That was some spooky thing. And I just love the fact that you were reciting you were telling the story and you weren't looking at a reference or anything. Like, hats off, man.
Thank you.
Amazing, amazing. You already have a lot of comment. Please go through that.
Actually, this is my first time, actually.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
That was genuinely amazing. We hope we see you more in such sessions. Moving on to our next performer, Yashvi.
So hi everyone, my name is Yashvi and I'm from Mumbai, and I've been writing since quite a while now, but this is the first time that I'm performing. This is about Indian society not being that acceptable towards the people going through some mental illness, depression, anxiety and all of those things. तो उनके लिए मैंने कुछ लिखा है कि आसान है क्या जब सभी के सामने मुस्कुराकर आईने के सामने रोना पड़े, जब हर रात आंसुओं से भरे तकिए तले सोना पड़े। आसान है क्या जब सबका हाल पूछकर अंदर से तुम्हें घुटना पड़े, जब सबके बिखरे टुकड़े समेटते समेटते खुद अंदर टूटना पड़े। आसान है क्या जब तुम्हारे हालात को कोई भी गंभीर ना माने, जब तुम पर जो बीत रही है ये कोई ना जाने। आसान है क्या जब हर वक्त बुरे ख्याल तुम्हें सताने लगे, जब अपने आप को खत्म कर देने के ख्याल बार बार आने लगे। आसान है क्या जब जिंदगी तुम्हें नींबू दे और तुम शिकंजी ना बना सको, जब तुम्हारे सपने तुमसे रूठ गए हो और तुम उन्हें ना मना सको। आसान है क्या जब तुम्हारी बातें सुनने वाले भी कान बंद करने लगे, जब तुम्हारी जीने की ख्वाहिश धीरे धीरे मरने लगे। आसान है क्या जब जिंदगी से परेशान होकर तुम उसे खत्म करने की ठान लो, जब ठोकर खाते खाते तुम जिंदगी से हार मान लो। आसान है क्या जब तुम्हारे मरने के बाद लोग तुम्हारे अपनों को सताने लगे और लोग तुम्हारी मौत को पैसे कमाने का बहाना बताने लगे। So this was one. And another small piece of poem I would like to present. It's for, you have that one-sided love and you don't have the courage to go and ask or propose. So उनके बारे में थोड़ा सा लिखा है कि ना किसी की जुल्फे सवारते हैं, ना किसी का आशियां महकाते हैं, कुछ गुलाब तो जनाब बस किताबों में सिमट कर रह जाते हैं। ना दास्ताने इश्क, ना इजहारे मोहब्बत के किस्से सुनाते हैं, कुछ गुलाब तो जनाब अधूरी अनकही कहानियों में आते हैं। ना किसी की कोशिशें, ना हिम्मत आजमाते हैं, कुछ गुलाब तो जनाब इंतजार ही इंतजार में सूख जाते हैं। ना दिल की बात जुबान पर लाते हैं, ना ही अपनी खामोशी पर पछताते हैं। कुछ गुलाब तो जनाब महज उनकी एक झलक को तरस जाते हैं। शुक्रिया, थैंक यू।
क्या बात है, क्या बात
क्या बात है,
बहुत खूब, बहुत खूब.
amazing, amazing, Ashwi.
Thank
Thank
you so
you
much.
so much for
And
gracing
for your
us.
first poem, it's like no, ये आसान नहीं है, बिल्कुल भी आसान नहीं है ये.
Really well put, Ashwi. I mean, thank you so much for bringing your writing here at Abstract. It's lovely listening to you. Next actually is Shadman. Am I saying your name correctly?
It's a Shadman.
Shadman.
Yeah,
All
exactly.
right.
Like Shaktiman, right?
No, not Shaktiman. Probably not at all. It's Shadman.
Shadman. Okay, Shadman, the stage is yours.
Okay, thank you very much. So I'm Shadman Alam, and previously I was doing studying medicine, but right now I am working with a media company, and I'm studying mass communication as well. And I also counsel people suffering from mental health as well. So right now मैं अभी शायरियाँ पढ़ने जा रहा हूँ, अपनी लिखी हुई शायरियाँ. ये सारी शायरियाँ मेरी खुद की लिखी हुई हैं. तो जो पहली शायरी है, शायद मैं इसी को मुकम्मल कर पाऊंगा आज. तो इसका टाइटल है झूठी मुस्कुराहटों से अब थक गया हूं मैं. बेवजह यूं बोला नहीं जाता, ना जाने कौन सी शब खो गया मैं. कहने को जो बात थी दिलों में, होठों तक बस झूठ का रास्ता बना रहा मैं. है हिम्मत अब भी लाजवाब, रातें कितनी बाकी हैं. ना जाने कौन सी सुबह रात की परछाई दिखा सकूंगा मैं. ये जो कहते हैं मुस्कुराहट जचती है तुम पे, इन झूठी मुस्कुराहटों से अब थक गया हूं मैं. ये जो सूख गए आंसू मेरे, ये जो सूख गए आंसू मेरे, दर्द भी अब खुद में दफना रहा मैं. बेजारी से थक जो गया, होश में भी लापता हूं मैं. कौन अपने कौन पराए, कौन अपने कौन पराए, सब दास्तां सुनाने में कहीं मशरूफ हैं. फिर ये हाल दिल किसे सुनाऊं मैं. अब जो आ गया किसी महफिल में, फिर नजरे हजार और बात सुनाता मैं. इन झूठी मुस्कुराहटों से अब थक गया हूं मैं. सर्द रातें, ये हाल अब बेचैनी का, जमा पड़ा ये जिस्म, फिर क्यों ये दिल धड़क रहा है. ना बात ना शिकायत, ना बात ना शिकायत, बस खामोशी इख्तियार करूंगा मैं. ये जो सीने में दर्द है, आवारों सा भटक रहा मैं. ना सोच सकते वो हाल दिल, ना सोच सकते वो हाल दिल, बयां करूं जो मुनाफिक बन जाऊं मैं. मत कहना मुस्कुराहट जचती है मुझ पे, इन झूठी मुस्कुराहटों से अब थक गया हूं मैं. ये जो दर्द है गालों में कहीं, ये जो दर्द है गालों में कहीं, दिलों के दर्द कहाँ छुपाऊं मैं. ना जो कहते पास हैं सदा हर महफिल, उन्हें तलाश रहा मैं. वो जो कहते हैं पास हैं सदा हर महफिल, उन्हें तलाश रहा मैं. कल फिर मैं खड़ा मुस्कुरा रहा होगा, जो बात कह दी उनसे उम्मीदें भी ना जाने उन्हीं से लगा रहा मैं. मत कहो छेड़ने तराना कोई, मत कहना या मत कहो छेड़ने तराना कोई, इन बेकार की बातों से अब थक गया हूं मैं. इन झूठी मुस्कुराहटों से अब थक गया हूं मैं. शुक्रिया. एंड वन मोर आई वुड लाइक टू रिसाइट. इज अ वेरी शॉर्ट शायरी, बहुत बहुत छोटी सी एक शायरी है. बेसिकली ये उनकी जुल्फों पर लिखा गया है. तो शुरुआत कुछ ऐसे है इसकी. तेरी जुल्फों से खेलना, तेरी जुल्फों से खेलना, उनमें खो जाना. फिर चलती हवा और बिखरी जुल्फों में चमक और हल्की सी महक. फिर तेरा यूं मुड़ जाना और फिर हवा से जुल्फों में तलातुम. तेरा यूं मुड़ जाना और हवा से जुल्फों में तलातुम. हाय तेरा तालिब हो गया मैं, बाकी क्या रह गया मुझ में, तेरी जुल्फों का आशिक हो गया मैं. शुक्रिया.
अरे वाह, क्या बात है. Thank you so much, Arman. You should definitely go through the comments. I saw someone say कि राहत इंदौरी की याद दिला दी.
बहुत शुक्रिया, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया. That's really meant to me.
Thank you so much for coming. Beautiful, beautiful lines. Our next performance is Mayank.
My name is Mayank and this is my first open mic performance. And I'll directly come to the poetry one. एक शेर ये है कि जनाब ये नए जमाने की मोहब्बत है, इन आशिकों के इश्क में बहुत ही शिद्दत है कि बखूबी रचते हैं खेल किसी के जिस्म से अपनी हवस बुझाने का, ना समझते उस पे गैरत की भी कोई इज्जत है, ना इश्क से खटास कहीं, ना इश्क से मिठास कहीं, विश भी बहुत होंगे मगर विश इश्क सा कोई खास नहीं, विश इश्क सा कोई खास नहीं। एक बहुत ही अरसे पहले लिखी थी एक, जब ब्रेकअप होता है ना उसके बाद क्या फील होता है उस पर एक की नज़म एक छोटी सी। मुस्कुराए या रोया जाए ये दिल समझ ना पाए, मुस्कुराए या रोया जाए ये दिल समझ ना पाए, देनी थी तो मौत दे जाती तड़प के बजाय, खुश था ये दिल तेरी यादें इसे सताएं, देनी थी तो मौत दे जाती तड़प के बजाय, शांत था ये दिल तेरी मासूमियत इसे चीरती जाए, देनी थी तो मौत दे जाती तड़प के बजाय, तड़प के बजाय। कि खुद पर है कि कभी झांक के देखना दिल में मेरे, कभी झांक के देखना दिल में मेरे, टूटा ही मगर धड़कता पाओगे, बस कोशिश करना मत मरहम लगाने की, वरना धड़कते दिल को भी रोता हुआ पाओगे कि करीब मत आना मेरे, कि करीब मत आना मेरे, वरना आंखें नम हुई और अश्क भी ना बहे, ये हुआ कैसे, बस इसी में डूब जाओगे, बस इसी में डूब जाओगे। थैंक यू एवरीवन।
अरे वाह वाह,
अरे वाह वाह, क्या बात है, क्या बात है, अमेजिंग। This was your first time you're saying, no, Mayank?
Yes ma'am, it was my first time.
I'm nahi Radhika. But it was genuinely amazing. Yeah, thank you so much
Thank you ma'am.
for waiting and performing here. Just reminding
Thank you
everyone
ma'am.
that Abstract Room conducts regular reading sessions as well. And we have our book of the month, A Man Called Ove, scheduled this Saturday. Please go and check Abstract ka page to see the upcoming sessions. Mayanka, actually, his recitation reminded me of our reading session with Dhwani. Dhwani, if you're here, I don't know why, it just reminded me of that. So I thought I'll tell everyone. We sit and we do this post like 10:30, 11, and then we talk about the writings, both Urdu, Hindi, English, all languages. Next up is Praveena.
So, hi all, I hope you're all safe. I am Praveena, I'm a computer science student and I am from Hyderabad. So, I would like to share two of my writings. And the first one is a take on female infanticide. So, here it is. Father compelled me to hold a computer. I wanted to click an alligator. Mother wanted me to wear a stethoscope, but I love the stars and the telescope. I was just getting out of the seat and growing bigger, but mother was forced to abort the so-called destroyer. I never knew why my dad was so sour. Little did he know he's the reason of my gender. All females of my family too were bitter. What an irony one could hear, however. I could imagine the pain of my mother, poor lady suppressed by the fear of family and stature. Revealing the gender of a baby is an offense, thanks to the new generation for the vigilance. But there are hearts out there still ugly. Only a change in thoughts can stop this cruelty. So this is one I've written on female infanticide, and the other one is a small thing on LGBTQ. This is where a girl writes for another girl whom she's in love with. So yeah, it's actually popularly known like Romeo and Juliet, but I would like to say this one is like Scarlet and Juliet kind of. So yeah, my heart skipped a beat when I first saw her giggle. Her flying dupatta got stuck in my bangle. Oh, was it supposed to be a shirt? And should it belong to an Indian flirt? Love happened to me at first sight as it happens to a few. This weird heart of mine found her heart hiding too. She was hiding her true self from reality and society. She kept nodding her head to those chosen for her on matrimony. I knelt with a ring that said, let's go face it all at once. My ovaries too exploded when she said yes. Even I could hear the retro music of Muhammad Rafi, the red roses falling upon, and she meant the world to me. She held my hand and laid it all on me. I made our first vow to make the kin agree. Nor we made any plans for moving out, neither we were ready to bow down to difficulty. She walked down the aisle, her white bridal veil just like a cape. The flowers in her hand, just as pretty as she is. I took her brittle hand and heart to cherish. Just that we are different doesn't make us strong. Being a unique pair makes us more strong. As she walks to orphans and churches, my heart still skips a beat when I see her giggle. So that's it. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you so much, Praveena. That was a very, very sweet piece. I mean, it's a good piece when you know that everyone is smiling about the feeling that you've written. So it's genuinely lovely. Yes, yes, I was definitely smiling.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much. With this, I would like to hand it over to Ria to take up the next performance.
Hello everyone. Hi. I won't waste any time now. I'll just go to the next performance. We have Anuj.
Hello, I'm Anuj, and this is my first stand up today. In the sense, I've been performing for a while. I think 5 years, roundabout. And today I'm going to tell you guys a story about rat kill. And for the purposes of this performance, let's pretend I have a compulsive lying problem. And the story starts with a very happy day of our protagonist's father's birthday, on which he's walking straight to a bridge near his house, from where he's going to jump. He's crying on the way because he's going to kill himself. Not because of anything specific. It's probably the pandemic, probably the fact that the senior didn't approve the fifth draft that he made, probably the fact that like he stubbed his toe on the way there, something like that. And he's crying, and he reaches the bridge, and he realizes how pungent the air is above the bridge, because we don't really treat our rivers very well. It's a serious problem. You should try taking a walk on a bridge someday. Not the point. And well, he decides to come back, and he very defeatingly tells his roommate about, you know, the fact that he tried to kill himself. And his roommate was like, "Are you okay? Why did you try to kill yourself?" And he tells about the bridge, and his roommate is like, "You wouldn't die from jumping from there." And then his roommate quietly tells him about the time that he considered driving into a truck and shat his pants, literally, while he was doing 80 and had a near miss. And then both of them made a small joke over their ritual of the evening chai, where they were checking for ingredients for the chai, and in the ingredient bag, because they just came back from grocery shopping, there was lemongrass, there was adrak, there was milk, there was sugar, and there was rat kill. You know where this is going. We came very close. That was the first time we made that joke. The second time, I'm sorry, what?
कुछ पता नहीं यार.
Understandable. मुझे भी कुछ पता नहीं.
Sorry for that. I don't know who it is.
It's okay. Anyway, that's the first time our protagonist and his friends make that joke. The second time, while making chai, again, rat kill gets passed. The third time, our protagonists are now doing illegal things, which Aryan Khan is not allowed to do. But Prashant Mane is. Never mind. And the thing is, they're not doing it the traditional way, which parents would imagine it with. It tastes like brownies. And after brownies, I'm certain everyone is aware, you get colossally hungry. And in this hunger, now the roommate has broken open a red packet, and started eating. Except in the bag for groceries, there's Oreos, Kit Kats, and rat kill. And lucky to say that was the first time that water helped, and we now understand why rat kill industry is a scam. I've been Asif, I know you. Thank you for your time.
Well, thank you, Asif.
Yay.
That was quite something. But it is your usual brand of humor with stories. So the next person we have is Roshan.
Hello everyone, I'm Roshan and I'm an IT engineer by profession and uh, I'm an artist by passion. I cosplay as well. I draw, paint, I do calligraphy, and I also learned sewing recently because of my passion, that is cosplay, which is fusion of two words, costume and play, wherein you enact a fictional character into real life. So I make my own costumes and I won a lot of competitions in India and I represented India in Japan 3 years ago after winning a national competition. So this is something that I made recently. It took me 40 hours and something on the lines. I recently started writing poetry around 2 years back or so. So I wanted to share three of my poems, which are short ones, and they go like this. The first one is based on self-reflection that I wrote in lockdown 2 years ago. It is called as Ikigai, which is basically self-reflection or finding the reason for existence. I'll start now. Sometimes I wish to be seen for the truest self I am within, not for my accolades, my visage, my color, my shape, or my skin. Perhaps we all stress a little too much about finding those words of comfort and such. Maybe it is more about making things work when nothing goes right and makes you irk. Why do we seek solace in others when we don't even know ourselves that well? Maybe it is not always about clarity, but just a gut feeling about your peculiarity. Finding your reason, your true calling, they say. Shouldn't that be something that you envision every day? That was my first poem. And the second one that I've written is called as Wishful Thinking, which is continuation of my first one. It is basically about someone we all are grateful for in our lives. That someone special can be anyone who supports us, makes us smile, or uh, always wants us to do our best. Might be a closest friends, family, or partner. So it begins as follows: Wishful thinking. Perhaps it's just a wishful thinking to find someone who always sees the best in you. Maybe it is asking a bit too much from someone to embrace your flaws and demons that haunt you. Wouldn't it be wonderful if someone says, I believe in you and the path you wanna carve? Someone that supports you through thick and thin, without any apprehensions, despite everything they've seen. Someone who stays when you're at your worst. Someone who listens when you have an outburst. Someone who just gets you when something's wrong and you don't need to explain the reasons beyond. Might have been ages since someone asked, do you still dream and have hopes along? It would indeed be a blessing to find someone genuine who wants to be a part of your adventures and beginnings. Thank you. That was the second one, and I'm almost close to the last one. I'm very close to the time limit. So this one I wrote today morning. It is actually a reply to both these poems. If you have noticed in both these poems, I'm questioning or trying to ask questions wherein I'm not sure about things. Okay. So basically today morning I found the answer. So it is a reply to the about two poems. It goes like this. You make me feel seen by noticing the efforts I put in. You make me a better person just by standing in. You make sure that I don't overdo or overstress. Your kind little gestures make me feel less like a mess. You take care of me even when I'm at my worst. You always stay and listen when I have an outburst. If something's wrong and I feel troubled with anxiety, your reassurance and faith helps me reach tranquility. Perhaps you are the calm to my chaos, the one that I have been longing for in this cosmos. And if we have each other's back, I'm sure we can conquer the entire world. Everything looks fun and exciting when I'm with you. Can't believe my wishful thinking actually came true. Thank you.
That was so lovely, Roshan. Really, really glad you got to perform these poems here. And we'll move on to Risha.
So, hi, I'm Risha. I'm actually pursuing chartered accountancy as a career, and I like to uh, write poems since the age of I was 13, and ever since then, I have not left my pen just to go for it. And so, I'm starting with my first poem. It's known as 21 Guns. I'm a Linkin Park enthusiast, you can understand. So, here it goes. He tore her open with a scalpel when he looked at her tears and smiled like it didn't mean much. He shot her with machine guns when he said she didn't care enough. He looked at her love for him and weighed it against smallest of things he owned. Like a good old fool, she ran for him in spaces where air wasn't there to breathe, but to make collide it against her own existence. He wounded her deep with his scallop blade when he became everything she ever feared. He looted her of her dreams and ambition with her sharp pocket knives. He made her drown in abyss for every day she shared and stayed. She thought she was incapacitated, handicapped, lost cause in his hand, only to know he never flinched his eye at stupidest of her name. So even when the gallop of him could consume her, she freed herself of the guilt that it wasn't brave but dumb to think love in such a way. She pushed him against his own demons and let go of her own with him. So when next time she noticed wounds, she realized she was playing with the saddest goon and not with the guy who she compares with the moon. So this was my first poem. Can I recite one more?
Sure, Risha, you have time. No problem. Go ahead.
Okay. Make a difference, they said. Put a life in something that has been long dead. Something that purifies the soul, something that motivates you at soul, something that makes your heart skip a beat, something that reminds your mind to repeat. Make an impression, they said. Not a reaction, but be the situation she gets. Something that makes you link, something that takes to push over the brink, something that wakes up every nerve, something that breaks the spirit of the perv. Make a revolution for good. It's okay to be misunderstood. Something that drives you home, something that gives you strength to be alone, something that makes every step you take cogent, something that provides a space of suffering as distinct. And as she tried to write through these rules, there would be more pile of pages than some handbags or jewels. Try to work for something she cares, and you never know you will help someone by just being there.
Thank you, Risha. That was really really cool. Moving on to Navya.
Hi everyone, I'm Navya. First of all, before starting, everyone has been doing tremendously well, and I'm just so overwhelmed to be here. So, I'll probably perform two pieces. My first piece is in Hindi. इसका शीर्षक है मुझे वो संगीत पसंद है. इसमें मैं बताऊंगी कि मुझे किस तरह का संगीत पसंद है. मुझे वो संगीत पसंद है जिसकी धुन से चांद रोशन हो जाता है, जो किसी सुर का मोहताज नहीं, जिसके बोल से सूरज मुस्कुराता है, जिसे सुनकर पलकों पर बैठे आंसू उस नन्ही मुस्कान पर आ गिरते हैं. मुझे वो संगीत पसंद है जिसकी बादल बातें करते हैं. मुझे वो संगीत पसंद है जिसमें मुखड़े की दरकार नहीं, जिसमें ताल खुद ही बनती है, जिसको गा सकते फनकार नहीं, जिस गजल पर दिल भर आए, जिस ठुमरी पर घुंघरू बहके, मुझे वो संगीत पसंद है जिसे सुनकर चिड़िया चहकती। मुझे वो संगीत पसंद है जिसे सुन इंद्र मेघा लाते हैं। सारा गांव आग सिकोता है, बिन घी दीपक जल जाते हैं। वो राग हो कृष्ण की मुरली जैसा, वो पाक हो जैसे अजान। मुझे वो संगीत पसंद है जिससे पिघल जाए चट्टान। So thank you. That was my first piece. I guess I have some time. Can I move on to the next piece?
Yes, sure.
All right. So my next piece is titled Grey. So this is introduction before this. People expect us to be colorful, cheerful, bubbly throughout our lives. Like जैसे उन्होंने हमें पहले देखा होता है वो चाहते हैं हमेशा वैसे ही थे. But life has phases and I call them colors. Colors don't define you as a person. They don't define your personality. They are just phases in your life. And sometimes your life turns neutral, dull, which is gray, the gray phase. So some people fail to embrace that phase. This piece is about my gray phase and how I embrace it. Starting now. I like it when the sky turns gray. The clouds finally get to cry. The drops crash land on my lashes, blending with the ones in my eye. I like the thought of graying hair. I want to see us growing old. And as my tresses tickle my temple, I see the secret remains untold. I like the grey shadows which form when you whisper in my ear. You fix my earring and I realize it was just a dream, dear. A disguise for my pale lips. I kinda like this grey haze. It allows me to remain maskless, to stay in my uncanny days. I like the edges of my palm where the blue veins are turning grey. We scribbled our initials on each other's wrist. Do you remember that day? I close my eyes and I see you. And our pictures have turned grey. They were once colorful. Never mind. I love them this way. I love them this way because at least we two were together. Now life is pretty dull. I still love this grey weather. Thank you. That was my time. It's been a beautiful experience and looking forward to more the whole night. Thank you.
Thank you, Navya. That was so cool. Both of them are really great poems. And your first poem was about music. So it kind of reminded me of abstract music sessions that we have started just last month, where we sort of did two music sessions on A.R. Rahman and Amit Trivedi. So these are member exclusive sessions, and in which we sort of come together, listen to our favorite pieces by the artist that we are going to listen today, and we discuss why there is a particular song that we like and its significance to us. So this is one of the perks of being an abstract member. So yes, you can actually check out what we do in our music sessions. We've mentioned it on our Instagram page. Let's move on to Swapnil.
Yeah, so hello everyone. I'm Swapnil from Mumbai and I'm into engineering profession. And since मेरी कविता थोड़ी लंबी है, I won't take much time into introduction. And I hope you enjoy this journey, which is titled आजाद इश्क. तो बात उस दौर की है जब उम्र जवानी के झूले झूल रही थी, मोहब्बत मुलाकातों में कम प्रेम पत्रों में फल फूल रही थी. देश और दिल दोनों को आजादी तब मिली न थी. देश और दिल दोनों को आजादी तब मिली न थी. हुकूमत एक पर विलायत का, दूजे पर आयत की रवानी थी. हुकूमत एक पर विलायत का, दूजे पर आयत की रवानी थी. खूबसूरती उसकी उर्दू सी, मुझमें हिंदी सी सरलता. खूबसूरती उसकी उर्दू सी, मुझमें हिंदी सी सरलता. हर सांस संग बढ़ रही थी, इस इश्क की अविरलता, हर सांस तक बढ़ रही थी इस इश्क की अविरलता। सर्द दिल्ली की गलियों से गुलाब उसे कुछ भेजे थे, सर्द दिल्ली की गलियों से गुलाब उसे कुछ भेजे थे। लाहौर के मुगलई रिवाज पकवान बनकर फिर आए थे, लाहौर के मुगलई रिवाज पकवान बनकर फिर आए थे। इल्म कहाँ था तब हवा को, महक उठी दिल्ली लाहौर। इल्म कहाँ था तब हवा को, महक उठे दिल्ली लाहौर। छिपी छिपी थी प्रेम कहानी, पहुंचा आई चारों ओर। छिपी छिपी थी प्रेम कहानी, पहुंचा आई चारों ओर। वक्त गुजरते ऐलान हुआ, आजादी अब दूर न थी। वक्त गुजरते ऐलान हुआ, आजादी अब दूर न थी। सपना पूरा करने की बारी अब हमारी थी। जिस मिट्टी पर अब हरे को केसरिये से मिलना था, जिस मिट्टी पर अब हरे को केसरिये से मिलना था। पता चला कि कांटों की एक लकीर को खींचना था। पता चला कि कांटों की एक लकीर को खींचना था। घात प्रतिघात की यहां अब बढ़ी कहानी थी, घात प्रतिघात की यहां अब बढ़ी कहानी थी। हर रंग तो खाक हो चला, बस अब लहू जुबानी थी। हर रंग तो खाक हो चला, बस अब लहू जुबानी थी। आता था जिस खत में प्यार, वह अपना रुख बदल के आया। बदले भारत का पैगाम, दफन हुई मिट्टी को लाया। बस यादों में घुल जाने का सफर यहां से चलना था, बस यादों में घुल जाने का सफर यहां से चलना था। देश और दिल दोनों को अब आजाद ही चलना था, अब आजाद ही चलना था। थैंक यू।
अरे वाह स्वप्निल, इट वाज खूप छान होतं. व्हेरी नाइस इट वाज.
थैंक यू वेरी मच.
And on the occasion of Republic Day, I don't think we could have heard like a better poem in the poetry session. It was really, really lovely to have you here. And I hope
thank
you
you.
attend many
Sure,
more
sure.
abstract sessions.
Like last line tak na, jab, by the time he ended, I literally I was having goosebumps.
Oh, thanks a lot. That means a lot. Yeah. Thank you.
And now we have Vishal Chandra.
So my name is Vishal Chandra. I'm from Hyderabad, and I'm a comic writer and a screenwriter. So this poem is about a boy who is searching for hope. So here it goes. The poem name is Lost. So here it goes. He was lost in the violent waves that kiss the shore hard at nights, while she hides behind the curve of the crescent moon. The tiny pebble which illuminates her rays just waits for her to find him, feel him, feed him with love and care. The ocean of sadness gulped down his throat, the darkness he consumed all these years, the demon which was haunting him since he was 6 never knew his elixir was her presence. She watches him scream till his vocal cords burst and open the gates to a parallel universe. The tears in his eyes gave birth to an ocean, but she was sailing, he was ashore, both with same pain but different destination. His blood was finding way to her home through the cracks of the road. The ground was keen to bed his body, ask her to bring his favorite flowers, the flowers he gifted on her birthday. The days he was lost, the invisible rope that showered his throat became his best friend. Consuming depression at dinners, he was walking through the deserts, the long highways, the beaches to find himself. We often forget cure can also be a person. The trees waved him goodbye all along the way, the wind hissing, revolving around his ears to let her go. The nerves in his body were squeaking and screaming. The plethora of pain was the new layer on his face. The stars guided to a path where there was peace. Even the world would drown in the tsunami of his love. And sweetie, the universe was never worthy of his smile or his saying, not even a tiny bit. He's lost and let him go to find himself and peace in the mountains that never echoed his name. Maybe she'll find him there this time. Thank you, guys. That's it.
Thank you, Vishal. Thank you. That was really lovely, and we really appreciate that you performed your poem, even though you're not well. It's really lovely to have you, and we hope to see you in more abstract sessions. Next, Srijita.
Okay, so I'm Srijita Chondo from Kolkata, and yeah, this is my first open mic performance, and yeah, I'm a bit nervous, firstly, and I'm sorry for the inconvenience because I cannot be in the meeting for long now, so I had to like perform. Okay, so I wrote a story. It's a short story, and it's called "The Diary of a Banyan Tree." So there's a twist in this, and you'll get to know that soon. So here I go. Year 1896. The fire of revolution is burning all over India. The inhuman oppression of the British rulers continues on the Indians. Standing on a plot of land in the middle of the sea, some distance from India, I am a banyan tree. Sadly, there are no people living near me in this area of Port Blair. Suddenly, today, many people started to build something here with brick and stone. It seemed to me that at least now, here will be a human settlement. I was happy. Year 1906. Oh my gosh, it took 10 years to make it. But wait, this is no human settlement. It's a huge, scary jail. Oh, now I understand. It's in fact another way of further oppressing the Indians and bury their voices. Kala Pani or the cellular jail. Year 1907. Batukeshwar Dutt, the heroic son of Mother India, was brought to jail today with the honorable freedom fighter Veer Savarkar. All the other prisoners started raging in the gorge with the same tone in their voice, Vande Mataram. Suddenly, they had to go quiet. Soft whispers could be heard. Quiet, everyone. White Devil David is coming. With the sound of heavy boots came David Barry and shouted, James! Hey, James! Military Major James Patterson Walker entered. Pointing towards Batukeshwar and Veer, David asked, Who are these fellows? James answered, New prisoners. Take good care of them. And then they both started laughing hilariously. But the two sons of Mother India did not even get a bit scared to that. The two freedom fighters were thrown into their cells. Hardly any light came to that 5 by 3 meter cell from the small ventilator above. And in that small cell, there was only 1 liter of water for drinking purpose and another 1 liter for washing purpose. Year 1908. I cannot see the inhuman torture on the Indian freedom fighters anymore. Some prisoners tried to flee last night and unfortunately got caught. They will be hanged today. They are being taken to the gallows. May the soul of these heroes rest in peace. Oh gosh, they are being hanged and still crying Vande Mataram. And the sound can be heard from the eating place as if the other prisoners are also going through the same pain. On the other hand, after beating the coconut peels with that heavy hammer for taking out his 5 since morning, Veer was terrified to see his own blood all over his hands. Yes, this is how inhuman the torture done to them are. They have to extract at least 30 pounds of coconut oil and 10 pounds of mustard oil every day, which is physically impossible. And for the crime of requesting a glass of water, Veer was thrashed hard by David Barry's men today. Year 1909. After 2 years, today, Babarao Savarkar and Vinayak Damodar Savarkar, the two brothers, came to know about each other's existence in the jail. They both bursted out crying in both happiness and grief. Year 1930. It has been 24 years since the prisoners are getting tortured, and some of them have even committed suicide. Like Indubhushan Roy was found hanging in the cell with a torn piece of his own kurta. Some of them have even gone mad. But today is a special day, since all the prisoners today started a hunger strike. It has been a few days since these prisoners are going through the hunger strike. Wait, what is that? Mahavir Singh is being taken away. His hands and feet tied, a funnel put into his mouth, and those oppressors are trying to feed him a solution of egg, milk, and sugar. All the prisoners are terrified when suddenly the bell rang. It is 8 p.m. The solution have gone into Mahavir Singh's lungs. The doctors are struggling to save him. All of a sudden, all the prisoners started shouting, Inqalab Zindabad. Then there was a sound of firing of a gun, and in front of everyone it was announced, Mahavir Singh dead. And his sacred body was thrown into the huge sea of Andaman.
Year 1947. India is independent today. The wave of happiness has crashed on the shores of India, and even I am enjoying it. But I did not forget. I still remember the last cries of those selfless freedom fighters. I feel their grief in all my branches till now. I remember. I remember every drop of tear, every drop of blood and sweat which fell from the bodies of those heroes. I will never forget the day of selfless heroism that enlightened the calm dead face of those brave sons of Mother India. Thank you.
Goosebumps, Shirja. That was lovely. That
It
was
was
beautiful.
beautiful. Indeed, it was beautiful.
Thank you so
It was
much.
very, very good. And you were amazing. Your recitation is so articulate and so slow, and you immerse yourself in every word. So it was really lovely. And now we can move on to Arnav.
Yeah, I'll be reciting a short poem. And before you guys go on praising this, this poem is written by one of my friends. It's not written by me. So if you are praising it for the words, the praises will go to him. The reason I've picked this up because he's a very private and socially introvert person. So his poems will never mostly see the public life. So I decided to, instead of picking like reciting my own, I decided to like take his piece up. Enigma. I see you approaching. Your gait changes, voluntarily lowering the pace. Was it Einstein shouting time travel? Or was it time freeze from a fairy tale? Streams of flame flowing from your curls, lotus lips, blooming and sparkling. A Bhagavad Gita verse I get reminded of. Focus on the soul and not the body. Is there a moral correlation? The countenance of your face, a world atlas in itself. Mountains, rivers, and volcanoes sustaining in harmony. A chronicle intact, but unwritten, till now. But the best things in this world are always untouched and unseen, can only be learned and felt. And the cadence of your voice was a Hans Zimmer music. Were the ups and downs in your voice deliberate? A simple hand touched was an iceberg meltdown. Are we shivering again? Do you still retain the art of discerning pressure? Ever widening volcanic eyes as the conversation proceeds. A mischievous smile on a mediocre joke. Do you still carry a child in your heart? We laughed at the pattern of stars. Somewhere a brown butterfly dances. Was it meditation beside the pond? A perfect tomato soup. If your mind was Enigma by Nazi Germany, am I Alan Turing? कुछ लफ्ज ही तो है, कुछ सुर और ताल बस, कुछ धुन ही तो है, कुछ चुभते हुए एहसास बस, कुछ बिछड़े दिन की बातें, कुछ भूली बिसरी यादें, कुछ कहानियां अनकहीं, कुछ अनजानी मुलाकातें, कुछ खाली खाली शाम और कुछ ना भूले से नाम, कुछ टेबल पे रखे प्यालों में चाय, कुछ रातें ऐसी जो सिर्फ थोड़ी खुशी मनाए, दोपहर की गर्मी में कुछ पिघलते हुए बर्फ जैसी, डायरी के पन्नों में कुछ फीकी सी हर्फ जैसी, धागे कुछ अटूट कुछ कच्चे, कुछ वैसे भी दिन जो हमें बिताए थे अच्छे, कुछ रातें जैसे चांद और तारों की यूं ही, और मिलके बिछड़ते उन घड़ियों के 3 सुई, परसों के अखबार जैसे बासी बासी कुछ, आज की सूरज जैसे ताजी ताजी कुछ उन लहरों जैसे जो आकर टकराती किनारों से, कुछ उन लोगों जैसे जो गुजरते इन दिल के गलियारों से, कुछ उस नाचाही सी चाहत जैसी, कुछ उस मांगे सी इजाजत जैसी.
Ijazat.
Yeah, the poem was titled Ijazat, and this was my tribute to the film. When I mean,
Yes.
this is there in the page, but I just wanted to
Where
read this out.
Arnav is, there is Ijazat. So Ijazat OP. That was really, really lovely. And your friend's poem, he wrote it so well and you recited amazingly. Next we have Bhaskar.
I will start with my poetry. The title is मैं कौन हूँ तुम्हें कैसे बताऊं, किसी एक चेहरे को कैसे अपना दिखाऊं। मैं अलग होता हूँ हर रोज हर पल, मैं अलग होता हूँ हर शख्स के साथ, कुछ आज तो कुछ और कल। हर पल में मरते मेरे शरीर में अनगिनत कोशिकाओं के साथ, हर पल जन्म लेते नए ख्वाबों के साथ। मैं बिखरता हूँ, मैं बनता हूँ, एक नए सिरे से खुद को गढ़ा पाता हूँ। भला कैसे एक रूप में मैं तुमको दिख सकता हूँ। हाँ, हो सके तो एक काम करना, ख्याल बन के मेरे साथ रहना। एक बदल जाए तो फिर नहीं, वो जाए तो एक और। ऐसे ही कई ख्यालों से मिलके गढ़। क्या होगा मेरे साथ, क्या सजा मिलने के बाद इस बात की भी चर्चा रहेगी सदियों तक। मैं कई दिनों तक इसी ख्यालात में खोया था। एक दिन ऐसा आया जब मैं एक फुटपाथ पे वही गलती किसी से फिर से अनजाने में हुई थी। आने वाले वक्त को एक और किस्सा मिल चुका था जो अनजाने में हुई भूल का उदाहरण बन चुका था। लेकिन इस पूरे वाकये में खास बात यह थी कि यह किस्सा आम था। ऐसे किस्सों को लोग अब तो बड़ी ही आसानी से भुला देते हैं, क्योंकि हमारे देश में अब भी सड़क किनारे फुटपाथ पर पेशाब कर लेना, शौच कर लेना आम था। सवाल तो बहुत सारे थे, लेकिन जवाब बस एक और साफ था, हमारे देश में शौचालय नहीं है। इसलिए हमने अनजाने में गलतियां करके उसे भूल जाना सीखा है। हमने कमियों के साथ जीना सीखा है। हमने कमियों के साथ जीना सीखा है। थैंक यू।
Wow, that was amazing. Like, what a cycle of sort of like you first and then you become what you're seeing. That was really, really poignant. And you should see the comments right now. They're like overflowing with, oh my God, what was that? That blew my mind. So, thank you, Bhaskar. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
all.
It was really lovely to have you. And we hope to see you in like more sessions and we
Thank you.
hope to hear more of your poetry. So I'll
Yeah.
hand it over to Mahi now.
सो अभी हमारे गेस्ट है आदरी।
ओके सो एक है कहानी मेरे पास। मैंने नहीं लिखी है, लेकिन उस कहानी का जन्म और जब वो कहानी दफनाई गई तो मैं उस पूरे साइकिल में था। तो मतलब ये कहानी जितनी उसकी है उतनी मेरी भी है, क्योंकि जिस उद्देश्य से मेरे एक बहुत अजीज दोस्त ने लिखी थी तो उसको मैं बहुत अच्छे से समझ सकता हूँ। तो मैं सुनाने जा रहा हूँ, आप उसको कैसे रिलेट करेंगे वो देखते हैं, और अगर इस पे कुछ डिस्कशन होगा तो मजा आएगा, क्योंकि मेरे को बहुत पसंद है कहानी। मतलब मैंने जब ये सुनी थी तो मेरे मतलब तब मुझे उतनी समझ नहीं थी, लेकिन जैसे जैसे मेरी समझ बढ़ी थी कहानी की तो मुझे लगा कि यार ये इसका दर्जा बहुत है मेरी लाइफ में। तो आप लोग सुनिए, बिकॉज आप लोग अलग अलग स्टेजेस ऑफ लाइफ से आ रहे हैं, तो शायद आपकी लाइफ में कहाँ ये फिट बैठेगी। इट विल बी रियली ग्रेट। तो शीर्षक है कबूतर। ठीक है, तो आवाज सुनाई दे रही है ना सबको? एवरीवन इज लाइक, किसी को दिक्कत तो नहीं, कुछ लैग आ रहा हो या कहीं पे?
ऑल गुड, ऑल गुड,
ऑल गुड, थैंक यू। तो कुछ कहानी ऐसे शुरू होती है कि किसी ने एक शाही फरमान सुनाया है। किसी ने एक शाही फरमान सुनाया है, कबूतरों को तैरने बुलाया है। किसी ने एक शाही फरमान सुनाया है, उसमें कबूतरों को तैरने बुलाया है। बेवजह एक समर मछलियों से लगाया है। बेवजह एक समर सिर्फ मछलियों से लगाया है, फिर भी कबूतरों को तैरने बुलाया है। कहा है कि कबूतर तो बड़े अच्छे हो। कहा है कबूतर तो तुम बड़े अच्छे हो, बेशुमार उड़ान है तुम्हारी। कहा है कि कबूतर तुम बड़े अच्छे हो, बेशुमार उड़ान है तुम्हारी, पर हर कहीं आसमां नहीं मिलता, तैरना भी तुम्हारी जिम्मेदारी। पर हर कहीं आसमां नहीं मिलता, तैरना भी तुम्हारी जिम्मेदारी। तख्त को तो एक तालाब फतेह करना था। तख्त को तो एक तालाब फतेह करना था, तो जरा बदल जाओ। तख्त को तो एक तालाब फतेह करना था, तो जरा बदल जाओ, उड़ान जहन से निकाल दो और तैरना सीख जाओ। वो मछलियां देखो, वो मछलियां देखो कितना मन लगा कर तैरती हैं, वो मछलियां देखो कितना मन लगा कर तैरती हैं, जरा सीखो तो सही, जरा सीखो तो सही। बतके भी तो बतके भी तो परिंदे हैं, बतके भी तो परिंदे हैं, तुम भी तैरना तो सीखो, बतके भी तो परिंदे हैं, तुम भी तैरना सीखो। तुम चले जाओगे तो तुम चले जाओगे तो क्या, तुम चले जाओगे तो क्या, तुम्हारे जैसे और आएंगे, तुम चले जाओगे तो क्या, तुम्हारे जैसे और आएंगे जो तख्त की हाँ में हाँ मिलाएंगे। तुम चले जाओगे तो क्या, तुम्हारे जैसे और आएंगे जो तख्त की हाँ में हाँ मिलाएंगे, और जो कहोगे तो डूब भी जाएंगे, और जो कहोगे तो डूब भी जाएंगे। एक कबूतर था, एक कबूतर था जो तख्त की बड़ी इज्जत करता था, एक कबूतर था जो तख्त की बड़ी इज्जत करता था, पर कहीं ना कहीं उसे कबूतर ही रहना था, पर कहीं ना कहीं उसे कबूतर ही रहना था। उस तख्त के लिए उसने आसमां जीत कर लाना था, उस तख्त के लिए उसे आसमां जीत कर लाना था, लेकिन तख्त को तो उसे मछली ही बनाना था, लेकिन तख्त को तो उसे मछली ही बनाना था। कहा कि बड़े बेअदब हो, कहा कि बड़े बड़े बेअदब हो जो कबूतर ही रहना चाहते हो, कहा कि बड़े बेअदब हो जो कबूतर ही रहना चाहते हो। क्या जिंदगी भर बस आसमान ही चाहते हो, क्या जिंदगी भर बस आसमान ही चाहते हो। लास्ट की 4 लाइनों पर जरा गौर करिएगा। समर के रोज, समर के रोज उस तालाब पर तैरती उस कबूतर की लाश दिखती है, समर के रोज तालाब पर तैरती उस कबूतर की लाश दिखती है, किनारों पर उखाड़े कर रखे गए उसके पंख उसकी उड़ान दर्शाते हैं, किनारे पर उखाड़ कर रखे गए उसके पंख उसकी उड़ान दर्शाते हैं। और अगली सुबह, और अगली सुबह एक और फरमान जारी होता है कहीं किस देश के कोने में, अगली सुबह एक और फरमान जारी होता है इस देश के कहीं कोने में, उसमें मछलियों को उड़ने के लिए बुलाया जाता है। That's it.
क्या बात है।
ये जो कहीं पर निगाहें और कहीं पर निशाना था, ये बहुत खूब था, बहुत बेहतर था ये।
बहुत खूब। अगर टाइम होता हमारे पास तो 5 मिनट का साइलेंस रख देते हम सिर्फ ऑब्जर्व करने के लिए, जिस तरीके से आपने कहा है, बट बहुत
ये
खूब।
मुझे मुझे याद है बहुत अच्छे से, मेरे जूनियर मतलब आया था वो मेरे पास और मुझे उसने शुरुआत की कुछ 4 लाइनें सुनाई थी और फिर हमारा बहुत डिस्कशन हुआ, 2 उसने ही सारी लिखी है, लेकिन जो थॉट प्रोसेस है ना, मतलब मैं वो समझ पाया। जब भी आप किसी शायर की शायरी समझ जाते हैं तो कहीं ना कहीं 50% स्टेक आपका भी हो जाता है उसमें, है ना, कि आप समझ पाए उस थॉट प्रोसेस को। तो मैं कहीं ना कहीं शायरी को अपनी भी मानता हूँ, क्योंकि वो डिस्कशन हुआ मुझसे और मैं उसको समझ पाया, और आज मैंने उसको इतना, किसी और की शायरी को अपने पास रखना एक बहुत बड़ी बात होती है, तो मुझे वो बहुत अच्छी लगी, इसलिए मैं इसको अपने पास रखता हूँ और सीखता हूँ इससे कि वो कबूतर, मछलियां और बतखें जो हैं इसमें कब कौन सा रोल प्ले करेंगे और मैं कब कौन सा रोल इसमें प्ले करने वाला हूँ। तो ये मेरे लिए अंडरस्टैंडिंग बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट रहती है।
एक एक लाइन अलग अलग मायने बयां करती है, बहुत प्यारा लिखा, बहुत प्यारा। तो फिर समय जाया न करते हुए हम सात्विका को बुलाएंगे नेक्स्ट।
Hi, my name is Satvika. I'm from Hyderabad, and I'm a student doing my BTech. So I write a lot of poetry in English. I have never shared my poetry to anybody, and this is a very big crowd for me. So here it goes. My first, I'll be sharing 2 of my poems. First poem is Deep Blue Sea. Deep into the dark blue sea, I'm shivering in my brain as my boat sails. I'm excited as the sun rays touch. The breeze makes my breath brace, boosted by brown, best by the first, hands yelling at the yellow sun, skin urging to touch this ocean, splashing by the spell falls as others owned to dive. And it is my turn. Oh, on with my yellow goggles, I look for front and jump back. I feel the bubbles touch me with the sounds of the sea's agony. So down with my flips. Along with brown, I see a gray stingray. Wide with its wave, I'm astonished with furnished sea. Nature in its form, lost in my silence. Another poem of mine, Love Loss. Never I wondered about, 'cause I thought about it. Well, I never left, as I was very proud of it, but never bitter about it. I spread it like butter, as though it's a cherry on my battle cake. I never left anyone because I was never scared of anyone. Ages ago, after an era, I opened the chit for the answers of for the question of my answers. I thought it always had one. At least something was written. A woman's inspiration to a woman's mesmerization. I wanted to clear the mess, but I realized it never existed. The only mess was me, as I was assassinated years ago. But I saw the blood now. Oh, mighty Caesar, you're better around. I was backstabbed, but never died, never did. Because you saw the blood, but I never did. Go, girl, wash off the stain or throw the shirt because you know you're awesome. Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful. बहुत प्यारा. It actually reminded me of this film अभी मैंने देखी थी, The Wheel of Fortune and Fantasy, जिसमें एक लड़की अपने बेस्ट फ्रेंड से मिलने के लिए जाती है और उसको पता चलता है कि वो उसकी बेस्ट फ्रेंड है ही नहीं, उसके क्लासमेट. और फिर वो दोनों प्रिटेंड करते हैं कि वो दोनों बेस्ट फ्रेंड है, उन लोग एक दूसरे को जानते हैं बचपन से, एंड दे हैव दिस सॉर्ट ऑफ रिलेशनशिप. बहुत प्यारा था. Okay, so we will invite Arus next. Yeah, please go.
So what I've written is I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a story, it's a poem, or I don't know what it is. It's literally just my thoughts, and it's very different from a lot of things that have been said so far. So it it is abstract, sure, but if I could get feedback on what I can do with it, that would be I would be happy with that as well. So you know that feeling when someone plays a joke on you and then they take it too far and then they ask you to be a sport about it. Like I feel like the pandemic has done that to all of us. Like I feel like what started as a joke 2 years ago is now everybody's Joker arc. But what I'm about to talk about right now is not about jokes. It's about sports, actually. So this is about how the pandemic changed the way I look at two sports that I absolutely love. So yeah, the first one is chess. And I love the fact that chess is finally getting the attention that it deserves. Like for all these years, I was out of touch with chess because I just didn't know how to go about it. But the pandemic gave me a sense of community. And believe me, I'm not very good at chess either. But this if you guys play chess, then you all know what I'm talking about. And okay, you might think chess became popular in the pandemic for like obvious reasons like boredom, loneliness, something people saw on Netflix. That is Ludo. Those are not the reasons chess became popular. I have some theories. I feel like chess became popular because firstly, it's easy to access if you have internet connection like chess.com and all these other places. I will send you a request and then probably lose there. But yeah, chess.com and all of these things. But it's difficult enough to keep up with. It's not the same. It's tough. The second thing is that when people explain chess tutorials to you on YouTube, because it's a mental sport, it's not a physical sport. When you watch people play chess, you feel entitled. You feel like I can also do this. Like I don't watch cricket and think that oh I can field better or I can bowl better than Bumrah. Although sometimes Ravi Shastri makes me feel like I can coach better than him. But if I tried to do that in real life, it would be a sobering experience. So I don't. But when it comes to chess, I I I watch Magnus Carlsen or someone play and I'm like, हाँ ये तो मुझे भी आता है. I can also do this. Only to get destroyed by somebody in like 30 seconds after that. So that's the thing, because it's a mental sport, everybody feels like they can pick up on it, when that's not always true. And last but not the least, chess gives you a feeling of false productivity because you use your brain. Even if it is to lose to a child prodigy from somewhere across the globe, you're still using your brain. So you feel like you're being productive. I'm serious. Like I got into chess because of my college friends. I did engineering. So and ironically, it's like it's a lot like chess if you think about it, because it's easily accessible if you're privileged enough, but not the easiest to complete. Looking at some very few people who are good at it can make you feel like, oh, even I can do this. Like one random kid from some IIT gets a 1 crore package, and then suddenly thousands of new people know what HC Verma is. I don't know how many people understood what I'm saying, but those of you who did, you all know what I'm talking about. And last but not the least, engineering also gives you a sense of false productivity for 4 years. That's a little longer than chess. But no, on a serious note, um, chess is like chess made me think about my other, like my favorite physical sport is cricket. I think I think it's obvious with the Ravi Shastri reference and everything. And work from home is giving me the time to sit and watch full length test matches. You can also call me jobless from home, but like it's fine. Um, and it's like I can't I can't tell you what this sentiment is. That wait, am I out of time? I'll shut up if I'm out of time.
Actually, I'm willing to give you like 1 hour. You can just continue. I can listen to like हमेशा के लिए. But yeah, I think we have थोड़ा सा कम time. to
Okay,
stop you.
I'll just like get to the point that I'm making.
Yeah.
The point that I was making is that like chess, unfortunately you need an algorithm, you need like all of these things to come together. I wish there was a way we could get people together to play physical sports. I don't remember, like, I mean, I have a group of friends to play cricket with. I don't know about you guys. And like, especially if you're someone who's not a cisgender man, whoever doesn't know what the word cisgender is, Google it right now. आपके भले के लिए मैंने बोला ये. But it's like, I'm from Mumbai. So yeah, no, the point I'm trying to make is that the pandemic made me realize I wish we had more ways to find like-minded people and play sports with. Thank you.
Wow, the last line. Wow, we need people to play sports with. Yeah. So okay, I'll invite Dhwani to take over from here on.
So we're gonna move on now. Arushi, you have the floor. I'm sorry if that sounded like an MUN thing, but this is you can go ahead.
First of all, I don't even know how I'm going to follow and top that. Because that was amazing. But I'll try. Okay, I'll just start. So the poems I'm going to read today are from a book I've published recently. This is the book. It's called Life and All Its Friends. I'll be sending in the link in the chat. And both the themes of both my poems are basically about ways to move on from loss, right? So the first one is in Hindi. It's called Aaj Nahi To Kal. Am I audible, by the way? Okay, great. पतझड़ में गिरे पत्तों को जिंदगी के क्या ही किस्से सुनाओगे, छोड़ा है जिन्होंने साथ तुम्हारा उन्हें क्या ही कहकर वापस लाओगे। ये समंदर की लहरें तो है नहीं जो रेत पर आके भी गहराइयों से हैं जुड़ी, ये तो है उन रास्तों से जो कुछ दूर जाकर अंधेरे मोड़ पे है मुड़ी। मोड़ ऐसे हैं ये जो खाइयों में है अंत पाती, नहीं है ये उनसी जो मंजिल की ओर तुम्हें है ले जाती। तुम किस लिए हो फिर यूं रुके हुए, किस कहानी की तलाश में जुटे रहे, अपनी निराशा का ढूंढो कुछ अलग हल, जुड़ ही जाएगा तुम्हारा दिल, आज नहीं तो कल. Okay, so this is the second one. This one is in English. It's called Closure, and I'm just gonna start. Um, I met him one evening. That man from my past showed up at his door, unashamed. I did it at last. It stole me my pride, every ounce of my breath. I lost it all as I saw him unkempt, awoken from slumber as I knocked on his door. That man I had loved, my world he once was. That man I had loathed, or had I ever at all? I watched him grimace as he stood there, appalled, like a dog that is wary of a pestilent gnome. Courteous welcome, though, glared he. Clearly, I was far from home. Through his forced facade, I felt seething eyes measuring my blatant disregard. I stood there, unwavering. For his space, his abode, his safe haven I'd breached. Estimating, contemplating my moves, he screamed. As obscure to him as they were to me, why indeed had I felt this searing need? Unhinged, undeterred, unheralded, unabashed, as I was, his past staring at him, while mine stood there aghast. Each word, each kind word laced disapproval. I wished I could run, but it wasn't the time to back down. So I glared right back at the sun. Years of hurt gaping, wicked lies to unmask answers that I knew of, questions I had never asked. Yet, as he spoke, firing poisoned arrows at my chest, not one sliced through me, though part of me bled. The part that had missed him every day of every week, she was happy to see him. The bitch, she was weak. Months of self torment had turned her heart meek. But once the onslaught subsided, I couldn't hear her weep. I turned around and witnessed mangled bones, rotten flesh, frail heart, distinct stench, the cold corpse, undistressed. So I shoved aside her putrid wreck as I walked away with closure, that bloody carcass now of my neck. Okay, that's it. Thank you.
That was like so amazing. And I really love the way you recite, especially towards the end when things got a little fast. It was amazing the way you read. I really like it.
Thank you so much,
And both of them absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much for coming here.
Thank you.
So now we're gonna move to Abdul, who's basically the main guy for all the poetry stuff in abstract.
Arey. And let me know for people who are new, abstract is the reason I started writing. Abstract say I started writing, and here I am trying to moderate and bring stuff to the table, and ये सब abstract की देन है. So yeah, and I'm being absolutely honest about it. तो हाँ, मैंने कुछ टाइम पहले कुछ लिखा था, तो काफी उसके बाद गया नहीं, तो फर्स्ट ड्राफ्ट ही समझना और थोड़ा साथ दे देना. Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
हाँ, तो द टाइटल इज कि फिर से गिरा हूं. सोचा था, समझाया था, संभाला था, उठाया था. ये कदम डगमगा इस दफा फिर, ए दिल थका क्यों तू अब भी नहीं. आंखों को नमी की आदत फिर से हुई है, बिन सोई रातें मुझे फिर से दिखी है. खामोशी को खामोशी से गिले फिर से हुए हैं, जमाने ने मेरी पुकार फिर नहीं सुनी है. खुशहाल से पन्नों पर अश्क स्याही बना है, बेरंग से वजूद का दर्द मैंने तेरे हाथों फिर से रंगा है. वक्त का क्या कसूर, लम्हे थमने आए थे, मैंने इस दफा फिर खुद के पीछे रह जाने पर कदमों को कोसा है. लड़खड़ाते सच, ये उम्मीदों की ठोकरें लगी है. गिरा हूँ, अंधेरे से पनाह मांगी है. रोशनी का क्या कसूर, आंखों पे दस्तक लिए आई थी, मैंने इस दफा फिर बंद आंखों से अंधेरे को कोसा है. आंखों का सफर आंखों से तोला है, शिकायत खामोशी से करी हर शब्द से बोला है. सन्नाटों का क्या कसूर मुझसे बातें करने आई थी, मैंने इस दफा फिर बातों से बातों को कोसा है। गलत था मैं, गलत वो लोग जो ढलते सूरज की मिसालें देते हैं। गलत था मैं, गलत वो लोग जो बदलते रिश्तों से नाराजगी जताते हैं। वो सूरज नहीं मेरी दुनिया है जो ढलती है, वो रिश्ते नहीं पर मैं हूं जो अब बदल गया हूं। इन रातों का क्या कसूर आधी मौत लिए आई थी, मैंने इस दफा फिर जीते जी जीने को कोसा है। जवाल मेरी पहचान ये फरमान है फुरकत से। जवाल मेरी पहचान ये फरमान है फुरकत से, मेरी हस्ती गाफिल ना हो। मैं वो सैलाब लिए चलता हूँ तिनकों के सहारे, वजूद को मेरे मानो मिला कोई साहिल ना हो। ख्वाबों को जंजीरों से बांधा है होश ने, यादों को पिंजरों ने जकड़ा है हकीकत के। नींद का क्या कसूर तोहफा सपनों का लिए आई थी, मैंने इस दफा फिर सुबह के इंतजार में रात को कोसा। हर दर्द छुपा लेता हूँ जैसे समंदर जमीन को, हर आंसू जब जज्ब कर लेता हूँ जैसे जमीन पानी को। इन बादलों का क्या कसूर मेरे दर्द बांटने आई थी, मैंने इस दफा फिर रोते हुए इन बूंदों को कोसा है। क्या यही मेरा सच है, यही मेरा आईना? शर्म से निगाह झुकी है, ना है अक्स ना कोई सहारा। वो दर्द का हिसाब मैं क्या ही बयां करूं, इस मुस्कुराहट की कीमत मैं क्या ही लगाऊं। इन तराजुओं का क्या कसूर जख्मों को तोलने आई थी, मैंने इस दफा फिर हर तराजू के टूटने पर जख्मों को कोसा है। थैंक यू।
I honestly don't know what
रहमान
to say.
साहब, अगर दिल ही थक जाता तो इतनी गहराइयां कैसे महसूस करते हैं आप? बेशक,
अरे
बहुत खूब था, बहुत खूब था।
थैंक यू।
मतलब चैट बॉक्स स्क्रॉल कर रहे हो यार इतना। आई मीन आई ऑनेस्टली मेरे को नहीं पता मैं क्या बोलूं। बहुत बहुत I don't know, it's very beautiful, it's very profound, and you're just too amazing. I mean, सा सर आप हमारे बीच
नहीं
कैसे
नहीं,
आ गए?
अरे नहीं नहीं,
Like I don't know, this is so well written, like so good. Abhi we're gonna move to Rhythm. Hi Rhythm, you have the stage.
एक पोयम पढ़ूंगा। पोयम है, शायरी है, पता नहीं क्या है, मतलब लिखा है। तो नाम है एक दुनिया में हूं मैं या एक दुनिया मुझ में है। तो एक दुनिया में हूं मैं या एक दुनिया मुझ में है। एक दुनिया की कस्तूरी है या एक कस्तूरी की दुनिया है। मन का डर है या ख्वाब की आवाज, असर है सोच का या कम होता विश्वास। शाखों पे सूखे पत्तों की तरह दांतों पे अटक जाते हैं हर्फ कभी, पड़े पड़े हो जाते हैं बर्फ सभी। उन खिड़कियों से बाहर झांका करते हैं हम, जो बाहर होते तो क्या होता, जो हलक से निकले ही ना होते तो क्या होता। जिंदगी में जीत का नशा होता या हलक में पड़े मलाल का निशा होता। इस जद्दोजहद का हूं मैं या ये जद्दोजहद मुझ में है। इस दुनिया में एक दुनिया का एक दुनिया में हूं मैं या एक दुनिया मुझ में है। खून जो थोड़ा तपता है भट्टी की तरह, सवाल जो क्या मिलते हैं लोगों की तरह, जवाब मेरे हिलते हैं। एक तरफ रहना आता नहीं, राजनीति राजनीति की तरह एक तरफा होना भाता नहीं। फैसले अपने ही बनाए जालों में अटक जाते हैं, हाल दर हाल सवाल भटक जाते हैं। इन फैसलों की नाकामियों में हूं मैं या ये नाकामियां कहीं मुझ में है। एक दुनिया में हूं मैं या एक दुनिया मुझ में है। होता किसी का नहीं हूं मैं, पर विश्वास सबको दिलाता हूं। अपना हर एक झूठ खुद को खिलाता हूं। झूठ के पहियों पे जिंदगी दौड़ाता हूं। जज्बात भी कभी झूठे बनाता हूं, उन्हें जी जाता हूं। सही या गलत की नजर से अब कुछ ना देख पाता हूं। दोगलेपन की गेंद है या समझदारी की मिसाल, धुंधली अपनी नजर है या हर पल बदलता बवाल। इस झूठ का हो चुका हूं मैं या ये झूठ कहीं मुझ में है। एक दुनिया में हूं मैं या एक दुनिया मुझ में है।
Thank you so much, Rhythm. So, I'm gonna recite a bit, and to be very honest, I'm like very scared क्योंकि इतना ज़्यादा amazing people है, इतना ज़्यादा अच्छा कुछ बोला है, and I don't know shit. But okay. So I want to do two pieces. The first one is somewhat political, and even though it's depressing, I try to end it with hope. So yeah, I'll just start. And as I look around, all I see are people crying out in agony. My head rings from the force of their screams, and yet nobody takes heed. Are they trying to ignore it all? They close their eyes and ears, they don't care at all, and thus deafening screams make their way to find a most deathly silence. One might say it's not really deathly. Ignorance is bliss, and we'd like to stay happy. But what about that child you chose to ignore, with rosy cheeks and tears galore? Was a mistake, they said as they walked away. One death is simply a speck in the grey. Orphans are created overnight, but of course, you don't want to see their plight until one day, when destiny plays her cards, when they knock on your door, will your screams be heard? But even if one stays aware and awake, what difference does it make? I'm a mute spectator, I'm powerless. If I speak out, my voice is suppressed instantly, for I live in the world's largest democracy. You see, the only responsibility is to keep our image from getting dirty. Truth, or we make our versions of it, and we tell ourselves that it's all okay. And then finally, we sit down to pray. But I think that even God has turned his eyes away. For countless times, we've used his name to slaughter kids and set houses aflame. I don't know how we go ahead from here, but I don't want to live in this constant fear. And I also know that I can't shut my eyes. It's imperative that I recognize the trauma and the agony that people are subjected to. It is vital that I remember to find a way to make things better. For a day will come when we will rise, when justice and equality will finally thrive. So that was one. And एक और है छोटू सा ही है. And so what had happened was कि lockdown में my sleep schedule, like countless other people, was very fucked up and I was sleeping very late. And so my mom just asked me कि तुम इतनी रात को क्यों जागती हो? मतलब रात में ऐसा क्या है जो आप दिन में achieve नहीं कर सकते हो?
Abstract sessions. Sorry.
That is absolutely correct. So obviously, but like I had this phase where I was sleeping very late, like it's at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and I was getting pretty unhealthy. And then, so somewhat inspired by what I feel when I'm late awake at night, this was that. And there is a liberation I feel when night wraps its soft, fragile arms around me. And as a darkness envelops me, it conceals the tears that flow down endlessly. There is absolute silence, for every man is long asleep. No one's here to call me weak. No judgment, no accusations here, no obligation to pretend. And hence the night is my dearest friend. I'm left alone to grieve in peace for all my broken dreams that lie shattered to bits like shards of glass. There used to be a different time when the night was the beholder of the brightest stars I'd ever seen, scintillating circles of light, the bearer of my dreams. I had thought them to be eternal, but alas, I was a fool. The stars that shine the brightest are in a most cruel way doomed. So I stand in the darkness all alone with a tiny hope in my heart that another star will find its way home. And that was it. Thank you for bearing with my stuff. Abhishek, I really can't see you, but please put your video on.
Yeah.
Okay,
So, yes.
hi. Super glad
Yeah,
to see
so
you here. Let's go. You
I,
have the stage.
हाँ तो मुझे ठंड ने दुल्हन बना दिया है. I am Abhishek this side, and I am into a corporate job currently in Gurgaon. So I am still alive with a corporate job. और a very happy Republic Day to every one of you. So अपना संविधान बन के तैयार हुआ था, आज पब्लिश हुआ था. तो मेरी भी जो कविता है वो संविधान से जुड़ी हुई है. हिंदी है, हिंदी में पूरा रिसाइट करूंगा मैं. तो गलत को गलत जो मान लो, नहीं झुकोगे ठान लो, दिखे जो सत्ता झूठ तो सच्चाई से संज्ञान लो.
तानाशाही के माहौल से जो त्रस्त है हृदय, है तुम्हारे साथ संविधान, तुमको किसका जय, तुमको किसका भय, बोलो संविधान की जय, बोलो संविधान की जय। न व्यय पे कुछ आंच हो, न आय की कुछ जांच हो, घोटाले के आरोप में पूरा वर्ष नग्न नाच हो, ये सब मिले हुए हैं जब ये तुम समझ गए, फिर तुम्हारे साथ संविधान, तुमको किसका भय, बोलो संविधान की जय, बोलो संविधान की जय। धर्म के नाम पर अधर्म की आराधना, बहुत खूब इनको आता है, धर्म जाति पे यूं बांटना, पर बैर अपनों से न रखना है, कर लो तुम ये ध्येय, है तुम्हारे साथ संविधान, फिर तुमको किसका भय, बोलो संविधान की जय, बोलो संविधान की जय। हाँ, थोड़ा सा भूल रहा हूँ, फिर भी बोलता हूँ कि ना सवाल चाहिए ना बवाल चाहिए, ना सवाल चाहिए ना बवाल चाहिए, पत्रकार की खाल में कव्वाल चाहिए, पर मूर्ख नहीं बनना है, तुम्हें मूर्ख नहीं बनना है, कर लो दृढ़ ये निश्चय, फिर तुम्हारे साथ संविधान, तुमको किसका भय, बोलो संविधान की जय, बोलो संविधान की जय। थोड़ा क्विक वन रहेगा। जो आजादी दे वो संविधान, बेबाकी दे वो संविधान, तुम्हारे अधिकारों की जो झांकी दे वो संविधान, सुप्रीम कोर्ट हाई कोर्ट और खाकी दे वो संविधान, अन्याय जो चपल है तो चालाकी दे वो संविधान, ओपन माइक करने के मंच अनादि दे वो संविधान, तुम्हारी मर्जी से जो करने शादी दे वो संविधान, अरे एक बार तो पढ़ो जो कायल ना हो गए, है तुम्हारे साथ संविधान, तुमको किसका भय, बोलो संविधान की जय, बोलो संविधान की जय। तो गणतंत्र दिवस की पुनः शुभकामनाएं आप सभी को। और काफी यहाँ पे जो मुझे यंगस्टर्स बहुत अच्छे से एकत्रित दिख रहे हैं, तो संविधान से अलग एक जो है, मैं आपको एक शायरी सुनाते सुनाते जाता हूँ कि लड़कों के लिए है, सारे लड़कों के लिए है कि ए हसीना तुम सारा जहां हो गई, ए हसीना तुम सारा जहां हो गई, हम कहाँ तुम कहाँ से कहाँ हो गई, थोड़ा मौका तो देती लायक होने का, थोड़ा मौका तो देती लायक होने का, जब तक लायक हुए दो बच्चों की माँ हो गई। तो धन्यवाद आप सभी का, मुझे अपने मंच पर अवसर प्रदान करने के लिए धन्यवाद। संविधान की जय, रिपब्लिक डे की शुभकामनाएं आप सभी को दिन के अंत में। हाँ जी
सर कहा थे सर आप?
बस इंतजार में थे यार।
क्या बात है,
धन्य हो गए सर हम तो।
So thanks, great for allowing me with this to recite this out over here. Yeah.
So now we're gonna move to Aniket.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys, for doing this. I can see what it has been doing for so many people, and that's such a beautiful thing to kind of, just be an audience to and also preserve. So yeah, thank you so much for doing this. The poem that I have today is based on a film. एक बॉब डिलन की ना फिल्म आई थी, आई एम नॉट देयर. आई एम नॉट so sure if you guys have seen it, but it was like 6 actors played Bob Dylan, Kate Blanchett, Christian Bale, Heath Ledger, and all of that. So this poem is written on that. I would not, sort of give away what the film was about, but then yeah, the film was called as I Am Not There. The poem is also called that. Yes. I would like to give up the need to make any sense, and instead venture into the abstract and embrace its ways that are uncertain and intense. I want to lose language and forget all the words that tell me how to feel. Disintegrate into silence and live with wounds that never heal. I want to tell everyone I love them and run away when they love me back. I don't know if my poetry is a prayer, a protest, or just a banal existential hack. I want to be both a hermit and a hedonist, but please don't keep a score. Don't ever ask me to stay. I'm already walking out of the door. I'm on my way to nowhere. Don't call my name. I'm really not there. I don't want a home anymore. I want annihilation by chaos. Thank you. That was poem 1. Do I have time?
Absolutely, I think you do.
Cool. So the other one which I had was, because it was Republic Day, I thought, the political idea I could live people with is of pluralism. I think pluralism is one of the greatest strengths of where we are and what our republic is. So this poem is up for that. It's in Hindi. मैं नदी होता तो मैं बहता रहता, मनमौजी होकर जीता, और किसी समुंदर को अपना सब कुछ उठा देता। होता मैं जंगल जो, तो मैं किसी वीराने में बस जाता, खो जाता अपनी ही खामोशी में, और शायद कोई नई आवाज को ढूंढ लाता। अगर ब्रह्मांड में एक अकेला सितारा होता, तो मैं ऐसी अभिलाषा से जलता कि किसी दुनिया का सूरज बन जाता। पर मैं तो बस एक इंसान हूं, इसीलिए मैं नदी भी हूं, जंगल भी हूं, सूरज भी हूं, तेरी परछाई भी हूं और रोशनी भी। मैं तू हूं, और इस बात से मुझे बहुत प्यार है। That's it. Thank you so much, guys. Awesome session.
Wow. Thank you so much. I mean, I especially loved the last one. बहुत beautiful. I think with this we're done with everybody who wanted to recite.
Yes, we are.
And oh my god.
Yeah.
So I want to say that special appreciation for Sankalp, Radhika, Ria, Abdul, Mahi, all our moderators. I mean, to be able to give a platform to so many people, to say it's such a good feeling when each of us got to perform. We had people who were especially there just to listen to us, and I mean, I'm so glad the Abstract gave us this platform.
Thanks to people who stayed, for people to recite and listen for so इतना late हो गया फिर भी. We really appreciate.
I'm so glad that so many of you here जिन्होंने पहली बार perform किया and felt comfortable to do that.
आप लोग के साथ ये मेरा फर्स्ट ओपन माइक ही था. I've attended couple of offline open mics here in Mumbai, but एक चीज जो बहुत बड़ा डिफरेंस था कि यहाँ पे बिल्कुल भी नहीं लगा कि दिस इज द फर्स्ट टाइम. सो इट ऑलमोस्ट फेल्ट लाइक अ फैमिली ऑनलाइन, क्योंकि आजकल सब कुछ ऑनलाइन वीसी पे ही हो रहा है, चाहे ऑफिस हो, पर्सनल हो, प्रोफेशनल हो. सो दो वी आर यूज्ड टू इट, बट अपने ही लोगों के साथ लोग बोर होने लगते हैं. सो अनजान लोगों के साथ बैठ के 3 घंटे कब निकल गए, इट वॉज वेरी कंफर्टेबल. सो थैंक्स अ लॉट फॉर दैट.
I just want to really appreciate the abstract community. Yeah, it's my first time. ये पहली दफा था और यहाँ पर मौजूद तकरीबन 50 लोग थे और इनमें से मैं किसी से भी मुखातिब नहीं था, किसी से भी मेरी जान पहचान नहीं थी. बट लाइक एज समवन सेड राइट नाउ कि 3 घंटे निकल गए और वक्त का कुछ भी एतबार ना रहा कि वक्त कितना गुजर गया. सो इट इज लिटरली अ वेरी नाइस टाइम, बिकॉज ये जो रात का वक्त होता है और खास करके ये जो पोएट और जो राइटर होते हैं उनके लिए काफी मुश्किल हो जाता है सम टाइम. जितने भी यहाँ पर राइटर वो रिलेट कर सकते हैं कि किस तरह मुश्किल हो जाता है. तो ये आधी रात गुजर गई, आधी रात और गुजर जाएगी ऐसे भी पर ये जो वक्त गुजरा बहुत अच्छा गुजरा. आई रियली वांट टू थैंक्स टू ऑल ऑफ यू गाइस, रियली वांट टू अप्रिशिएट एंड थैंक फॉर ऑल ऑफ यू गाइस.